everybody. We are about to get started. Yeah, this is Soda Popinski's song from Punch Out for Wii, is what this is. So people in chat are wondering, yeah. Actually, we should see what the Canadian one sounds like. It's just kind of rednecky.
For people to contribute to the.
I did not. Sean did.
Yeah, I know.
Yep.
Okay. He asked us to see if you'd sweat.
No,
Wow.
I saw that, and I was like, oh yeah, thanks, Sean. Good looking out.
Thanks, Sean. I always want to tell Sean to do it. Thank
Oh,
me.
thank you, Mike.
Mike's the one who noticed it.
I was like gonna do so much last night after all this other things, and then I was very sicky in the I sicky of one. I had a one nose.
I got one nose, mommy.
Mommy, I don't feel so good. My tum tum.
I'm sorry, Jeff. I hope you feel better.
Get back to
Yeah,
the
go fuck
mine,
yourself.
motherfucker.
What do you have to fly?
Tuesday. I'm gonna be fine by then. Positive thinking.
Plenty of time. Just take it easy. this weekend.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I gotta get my taxes done because by the time I get back, it's not gonna be time. So
Well, I guess it's harder for families.
You
We get
procrastinate.
I gotta do families and I gotta do Game Mess Limited.
Well, yes, thank you for that.
Yeah. All right. Let's see
yeah.
here.
Add joke about taxes here.
Yes. Okay. All right. I think we're good. Let me stop this music, which is amazing.
You tweeted?
Yes, I did tweet actually.
Do you have the music? There you go.
You guys hear that? All right.
Ooh, on cue, baby.
All right. I think we're good to go. Mike, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
You got the postcard,
All right. I'm gonna count us in,
Wow.
and then we will get started. Okay.
I guess you have it.
Actually, let me test this real quick. Oh, even the recording's gonna work tonight. All right. I think we're on fire.
Oh my god.
Let's do this.
Are you using AB1?
No, I should. Well, I don't have encode because I have a 3080 Ti in this, so I can't encode.
All right, you fucking
'Cause
pleb.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a plebeian with my 3080 Ti. Oh, PC gaming's actually truly
You
fucked
lose.
in some very deep ways. Okay.
That Greg Miller shit that's going on
I
with
love
PC gamers
That's
is
incredible.
mwah.
Oh, it's
I
so
love
good.
It so
It's
much.
so
I mean,
fun.
It's-
No one can even say he's wrong this time. What are they gonna do?
Yeah.
It's incredible.
He's right.
I've seen some like mutuals be like, he's taking it too far. I'm like, guys, it's just a
No,
really good
he's
joke,
not.
actually. It's a really good
This
joke.
is the best thing ever.
It's really good. Okay.
He's not. He needs to take it further away. I don't know.
Oh my God.
All right, I'm counting us in. Here we go.
They're Italians.
Thank you. 5, 4, 3. Internet, you're busy. Let's do this. Welcome to the Game Mess Decides podcast. This is the podcast where we decide everything happening in the world of video games so you never have to think for yourself. I'm your host, Jeff Grubb. With me is
Mike Minotti.
in today's episode, E3 is dead, PSVR 2 is a disaster, and Super Mario Brothers, the movie, is getting a post-credit scene. But first, Mike, how are you doing?
Well, I only have a few of these. You know they're precious to me. But I've got one of my Southern Tier French toast imperial ales. But I'll crack one open tonight.
Yes, in memory of
all three E's. E3.
You know what? Let's just get this out of the way so we can start talking about E3. You get more from Mike and me by joining Discord at GameS.net. If you want to ask us a question, do so by sending a super chat during the show here on YouTube. That's the best way to do that. Thank you to Carlos Sain, who's Insane in the Rain Music on YouTube, for the use of our theme songs. Thanks to One Up versus CPU for our artwork. You could find more of him at oneupversuscpu.com. We are on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and wherever pods are caught. Give us a good rating wherever you are listening and hit that like button on YouTube, please. Thank you to the mods. Support us by going to patreon.com/GameMess. That gets you access to the private channels in our Discord. It gets you access to the monthly Q&A. It gets you access to 1 month early
Access
to the 1 month early Jeopardy game. Access in our monthly game club discussions, and of course,
access.
all of our shows ad
Get
free.
access to the returning shirt, Jeff.
That's right. The shirt's back.
E3.
And actually,
back.
Honestly, and if you're in the Discord, I put a 10% off code in there. I gave our special members, they get a 10% off. So if you're in there, grab that code. If you're buying a shirt, make sure you spot that.
Game-mess.creator-spring.com.
People love, I think the best moments in podcasts are always when people say URLs.
Yes, everybody's immediately like, oh, well, I'm going to write that down.
quick, let me get a pen.
You're right.
No, I'm serious. I'm not joking. I love it.
I disagree with you there.
All right. That's out of the way. Mike, E3's dead for real this time. At least for probably the next couple of years. I think it'll probably come back again one day as some weird mutant thing. I mean, like I always say, it's got a lot of brand recognition. Someone will be like, I can make money from that, but it's never going to be the thing that people grew up seeing as E3, right?
Maybe. It's hard to say, Jeff. I've always been Mr. Oh, E3's not going to die. It feels more dead than it has ever felt before.
Yes.
I mean, this is the first time that E3's been killed due to a lack of interest, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean,
it's rough.
The companies just didn't want to go, even though the E3 that Reed Pop built was exactly the show the publishers wanted. They were all kind of like, actually, we're good. And that's the roughest part. It's like, I think they all sort of collectively realized here that as the show was dragging along a little bit, they're like, we don't even need this. In fact, we don't even want it. And that's going to be the killer.
Yeah. It's a bummer, Jeff. Opinions about E3 vary, but I think a lot of people think fondly of it. Both people who never even go and just kind of like it as this sort of influx and this outpouring of news and stuff and previews. And people who did go like us, it is this kind of weird like theme park gaming bonanza, and you're working and it's crazy. You're running around, but then it's like, oh, here's a statue of Mario, and this for some reason the Final Fantasy VII remake line is like, I'm in line for a ride at Disneyland. Jesse's talking to me about my mission. It's all themed. It's really neat. It is sad. There's not going to be anything like that popping up anytime soon. I don't think anything's going to step up really. Even the PAXs now, they're nice, but they're a very different beast. I don't think they're going to suddenly become more like E3. Nothing is.
Yeah, I have had good times at GDC when I realized what it was.
I never liked GDC.
Yeah,
you know me.
Yeah, but GDC is like you're going there, and it's going to be very much like you're going to meet people in the industry. You're going to meet people who are there to make games mostly, and then some people there to cover games. And it's not like an anything can happen sort of situation where I'm at E3 and I go to a Nintendo meeting, and it turns out it's not a meeting. It's like their big pre-Nintendo Direct show, and they have Charles Martinet behind a curtain in a microphone with an AR Mario face shouting things at people, and it's like it's lip reading with him. So he's like, Charles Martinet's like calling people out in the audience, and it's like I'm like, this is really weird. I remember just standing there throughout that whole thing, just going, this is strange, and bumping into celebrities. The guy from The Room, I bumped into him there.
Is that Wiseau?
Yeah, not Tommy Wiseau. The guy that
Greg Cesario?
No, the guy that played the Shrink or whatever. Like
people are
people.
Okay.
Kyle Vogt is his real name. Kyle Vogt.
That's incredible.
Yes.
That's even better.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
I saw him, and I'm like, I don't want to call him by his character name. So while I was like kind of following him for like a half a haul,
You always play psychologist with us.
I looked up his name and I yelled, Kyle, and he turned around. I'm like, man, I would never do this to any other celebrity, but this is way too cool. I gotta stop. Please take a picture with me.
Yeah.
I mean, E3 was an I actually like going to things where people are trying to sell you stuff. That's the reality is.
Well, they have to be nice to you.
They have to be nice to you. They have to put on a show. They have to be entertaining. They have to be like putting their best foot forward. And E3 was like clearly like, we're going to put our best foot forward and we're going to dress our foot up like a peacock, and it's going to be loud and abrasive. And I like all that stuff, actually. Yeah. And I like the environment that creates where it's like a lot of people be like, can you believe this shit? I'm like, no, I can't. This is awesome. E3 was a lot of fun. And then You work real hard all day covering stuff, and then you go back and we're all at the Airbnb or the hotel or whatever, and we're all just pounding away on our keyboards for a little bit. I would have the Giant Bomb night
You
shows
always
on the
would.
TV,
Yeah.
and it'd be like, oh my God, look who they got. This is great. And I'd be like, oh man, a Phil Spencer interview. I'll write some stuff from this. This will be great. And it's like, man, this just having everyone together in the same town was fantastic. We did some really fun E3 podcasts in the past. It was a really good time. I'm going to miss it. Whatever sort of fills that space, it's not going to live up to it. But I hope something tries to like step up. I don't really think Jeff Keighley's ever really going to be an E3 equivalent.
No, maybe he really wants to be though, so maybe he's going to like try to, and we'll see what that looks like. Boy, he was ready to go, huh? He
Yeah,
had
of course
that
he
tweet.
was. I mean, he knew. Yeah.
I think he's after BAFTAs too, right? And he still was like, yeah, that had saved drafts, just ready to go. All right.
I mean, he's got to make money on his show, right?
He's got to make his money. He does, sure.
So it's like,
whatever.
yeah. So it's like he's gonna build a show laser focused on that, and that doesn't necessarily create a lot of opportunity for people to come and maybe do their own thing, or for a lot of companies to be like, oh, I guess we'll go have meetings at Summer Game Fest. No, we're not going to do that. That's weird. And so a lot of that stuff probably will like go to a bunch of different things. Like a lot of stuff will fall over to the show in Cologne, Germany. What's that called?
A Gamescom.
Gamescom. A lot of stuff go to Gamescom. A lot of stuff will go to other Jeff Keighley shows. A lot of stuff a lot of these meetings will go to GDCs.
Let's make Tokyo Game Show important again.
Yeah, sure. Let's bring back Space World. That's the one I always
Space
really
World,
wanted to go
hell
to. Yeah. It stinks. I really was a huge fan of E3 actually in reality, and I always had a good time, and I'm always glad I went. I think that Sony booth was really that last one.
Me and you were that was like the Sony post show one. Me and you were the only ones who liked it.
Yep.
Jeff Backler was talking about it. How he hated it. Everyone did. Everyone thought it was obnoxious that they were being herded around like cattle. I like Disney World. I'm used to being herded around like cattle. I like it. It's great. Yeah, take me to slaughter as long as you have a guy in a costume there playing like some sort of,
really long
horn
flute
instrument.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad I got to go a bunch. My first one was in 2010, which is hard to believe. I remember just being almost overwhelmed and just kind of taking it all in. It was the year that they debuted the 3DS, so that was kind of the big thing at that one. So the whole thing was just wild to me. And I went to most of them every year after that, as long as they were doing them. And I always had a good time. I always was fun. It would be a lot of work. It could be overwhelming and all that stuff. But always in a kind of fun way. You could get a lot done. It always felt like good times. You want to talk about some E3 memories, Jeff?
Yeah, sure. I mean, what comes to mind for you?
Well, let's see. I did get to interview Anuma, the Zelda producer, and this was like right after they showed that first thing for Breath of the Wild, I remember. And everybody was just like really confused that Link had blue clothes on, right? So I remember just like, oh, why does Link look different was my question. And like he said, like kind of joking, like, haha, who said that's Link?
Yep.
That's like, I just kind of went back and like, that was my headline was like, oh, like Anuma says that maybe that's not Link. And like, it was like, at that point, by far my biggest story.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. So it was great.
Zelda...
Nintendo had to like come out and say, it's Link, we're sorry. And stuff like that. I was like, wow, this is great. Wow. Okay.
The Zelda lore people are actually huge, apparently. And it's like, okay, yeah, I missed that. I don't know. I like when I would bump into people, but I remember like meeting Charles Martinet for like a couple of seconds, and that was really cool.
He would always just be walking around the Nintendo booth, I remember.
Yeah, exactly. And he was always really nice about it. I do like the rooftop podcast that we did. That was a lot of fun, just having some friends over.
Yeah.
That's still in the feed if anyone ever wants to go back to that stuff. It was a lot of fun to record those. Yeah, we should listen to that sometime. I would like that. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I remember we went to the Fig just because when we grew up, all the cool E3 parties and podcasts were recorded at the pool at the Fig, and gosh, like all those one-up podcasts where everybody was just absolutely toasted. Man, it was incredible.
Yep.
I don't know if I don't think me and you ever got that drunk at E3. We were just so busy. Honestly.
Yes, exactly.
We were just writing constantly. I would always get like a 6-pack of something. Oh, remember the time I found the free bread? That was amazing. You were so mad about the free bread. I don't know why. It was free bread.
I mean, I was just like, we're not going to eat this. And then like you made a point of like, I'm going to eat it. Fuck you, I'm going to eat it.
So like there's like this indoor like mall / food court place we were at. We were leaving and the one place that made grilled cheese was just handing out loaves of bread because they were closing for the night. And I was like, oh my God, we just got like handmade bread for free, a whole loaf of it. And Jeff was like, why'd you even take that? I was like, you're insane. This is just free bread. Oh, I ate so much bread. It's incredible.
He did eat a lot of bread. Yeah, I'm trying to.
Yeah, I made some toast. They cooked some bacon with it. It was good stuff.
There you
Free
go.
bread. Yeah, yeah.
I got my Los Angeles pictures, so I'll just like go through some of these and see if there's any.
Yeah. Oh, there's so many. I remember doing the weird Halo. Was it 4 HoloLens thing? It might have even been Halo 5. I don't know. Where it was like a theme park attraction more than anything else.
Yeah, here's the guy playing the flute thing.
Yeah, the Ghost of Tsushima guy.
Yep.
I loved him. Yeah, Jeff and I were the only ones having a great time at that Sony thing. Yeah. Guigi. Nintendo's booths were so much fun.
Yes.
For so long.
Honestly, it was always a highlight. That Zelda Breath of the Wild booth was incredible.
Yeah, that was great. The Mario Odyssey booth was a lot of fun. The Smash Bros. Booth wasn't as well themed, but I had a good time. There's the hot dog stand because it was like this. That's right. There
New York
was
City.
The,
New York City Spider-Man.
Yeah. Memories all alone in the
And the big Ghost of Tsushima screen, and everyone being herded into there after being in here.
And everybody was like, "Oh, I mean, you're like, what is possibly gonna happen in here?" I'm so excited to find out.
Yep. The like the church thing from Last of Us Part 2. Like, yeah, that was cool.
Yeah. It was a good time. Hopefully there will be some things like this again, even if it's not this. Maybe E3 will come back, maybe something else. But I like having these big, flashy flashpoints. Good stuff.
Yeah, I had a picture I wanted to check out here.
Oh yeah, is it of your dick?
Well, listen, if my dick gets caught by Google Photos as being Los Angeles, I'm gonna be very proud.
It would be. That would be amazing.
It's actually a picture of from the Nintendo booth where they had Super Mario Odyssey and they had
I see
Cranky Street.
I saw you had that picture of me like rushing to the Ori demo that was at that Xbox thing that one time.
Oh, here it is. Here's
Very
this one.
excited.
Yeah, Cranky Street. Okay, which one is this? Is it up here? Maybe it's down here.
Well, don't forget, I'm watching. I can't only see this on the YouTube, so I'm a bit behind you.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good times, Jeff. Maybe we can go through and make a little album together.
Yeah,
album?
that'd be fun.
That's the way you say that word. Why did it sound wrong?
Album.
That's right. Album. We'll make an album sometime. We'll go through memory lane. We can make some extra content with it someday. It's good stuff.
Yes, absolutely. I like E3 a lot. Bethesda Land. Remember Bethesda had their own thing? That was cool.
I remember Bethesda Land.
Yep, that was a good time. All right. Let's get back over here. There we go. Okay.
Wait, who am I taking that picture with? Oh, it's the Gran Turismo guy. That's right. That was right after we played NAC 2.
It was after the best experience anyone's ever had with NAC 2.
Yeah, it turns out if you do it when they're giving you free food and alcohol at some middle of some weird party, it's kind of fun.
It's kind of a pretty good time. Yes. Yeah, that was the Andrew WK Bethesda year, I think. I think that was what that was.
I remember being so annoyed because like you left after the party because like I'll just watch it on the stream, and me and Dean stayed there to cover it there in our laptops, which is always awful because you never get internet. It's terrible trying to actually cover those things there. It's much better just watching the stream.
Yes, it is totally. Yes, I remember I left and I gave my my pass to a kid waiting in line in the like overflow line. I'm like, hey, is anyone here by themselves? And this kid's like, me. I'm like, here's my press pass. Go in. So
wow.
Have a good time.
Oh my God, you should be in Sony jail. Forget about Nintendo jail.
I was Bethesda. Then I wonder.
My bad.
I wonder if that guy went on to steal Greg Miller's badge. Eventually, he got a taste.
That's so incredible that one year when they're like, well, Greg Miller, we think that you like
sold your badge. Yeah.
It's like I don't think Greg Miller's the type to be like, do you know who I am? But maybe he should have. Like, what he was kind of.
I think when that happened, I think he was kind of like, do you know who I am? Like that's crazy.
I would be.
Absolutely.
Like, it's insane.
Yes,
what are you talking about?
It was insane. It was totally insane.
It's like they didn't know what they were doing over there.
Yep. All right. Let's see. I don't know. Any other E3 thoughts, Mike?
No, I bet we'll get some questions and we can kind of figure it out. It's going to be another game mess summer, that's for sure.
Yep. I mean, to kind of lay it out again for people. There's that Sony showcase that's supposed to happen before E3 timeframe. And then there is Summer Game Fest on that Thursday. Then he has the game day things on Friday and Saturday. Then there is Microsoft and Bethesda and the Starfield thing on Sunday. Then Ubisoft.
That was
on
always
Monday.
that was always like so E3 adjacent too, so that's weird.
What was E3 adjacent?
The Microsoft thing, right? Why did I think they're doing something like in LA? Maybe I made that up.
Uh,
Ignore me.
I mean, wait, what do you mean? They're doing something in LA this year. I mean, that's what they're doing. What do you mean?
That's what I'm saying. I thought it was always kind of. It was like I thought it was happening when E3 was happening. Was their plan or something.
They from the beginning were like, we're gonna be there, and they never really mentioned E3. Not really.
Okay.
Yeah, it was always very, very tenuous, any connection to E3. And then Ubisoft didn't announce Ubisoft Forward until they said we're not going to be at E3. So when things start, I mean, I expect tomorrow, maybe even a lot of these companies that were like waiting for the Reed Pop to do something are now going to be like, and here's when our thing is happening. And I'm like, okay, well, once they do that, I guess we're going to start figuring out what we're doing. But we're at least going to go for Summer Game Fest, I guess, because that was a thing last year. We'll probably all go out for that.
I was there last year. You weren't because
yeah.
I forget why, because you were moving, I think. So
Yeah,
I
but
met,
also we were
like,
all.
a lot of those people.
Oh no, I just joined Giant Bomb at that time, right?
You had just joined Giant Bomb,
Right.
right? And
So I think I was
you were moving
probably in the
also.
truck, yeah, and moving across country.
I went up
Okay.
to him like, "Hey, yeah, I'm used to work with Jeff. He's working for you guys now."
And then Jan was like, "How dare you speak to me?"
No, they were very nice.
All right, let's move on. As everyone else is going to have to. There will be more stories out of this, just like what actually happened here.
Oh yeah,
I think
it's gonna be fun.
I think Chris String had an interview with the guy I think was trying to put it together. They're gonna have a lot of stories about trying to actually make it happen. I think there's gonna be stories about like what actually got it killed here, and it's gonna be very obvious once everyone hears it. All right, Last of Us.
Jeff Keighley.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Last of Us is broken on PC. That's the next story here. This has been kind of a mess for them over there, but it's not also like in a string of really bad PC ports. This one seems especially bad, or maybe it's like so big that people are just noticing the bugs a lot, but it seems to be very buggy, very bad performance. They're trying to update it. Why this game? Why would they rush it out when it wasn't finished?
The only thing I could possibly think of is that they were worried about like the big high that they got from the TV show fading away. I don't know, like whatever. It seems like that show did so well that people would be excited no matter when this happens
Yeah.
now. But yeah, it's like, yeah, if it's not in position, like what is your rush here? It's not like you have to send out some box copy to all these stores or something. It's just this digital PC release. It can come out whenever.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, in my head, I'm like, a TV audience is going to be a PlayStation audience, not a PC audience. But I guess The Last of Us
These days,
TV show
little
is
bit.
a global success, and in that case, it's like, okay, I guess PCs are maybe a little bit more important globally, and so they were trying to hit that to make sure that they could get as much as possible. But I mean, and I guess every little bit counts. It's just it didn't make a lot of sense, especially in this case. Now this is like kind of tarnishing this game just a little bit. They put out a patch today. It does stability and performance updates a little bit, but it still seems to be kind of a mess. But I mean, people are like wondering, oh, does this mean Naughty Dog, the PlayStation, are going to be afraid of going to PC in the future? There's no chance of that, right?
No, you take your lumps, you try to do better, you move on.
Yeah, I think so too. I didn't really have any plans of like jumping into this immediately, but I was like, hey, I could play maybe The Last of Us on my Steam Deck eventually. I've never really played it before. That'd be a cool way to do that. Now I'm like, okay, well, I was going to wait anyhow. This is just another reason to go ahead and wait. But were you ever going to check out a PC version of The Last of Us?
Nah, I mean, I played it back when it came out and I liked it, but I don't know. It's just heavy games like that aren't exactly games I'm thinking about going back to and playing all the time. There's a million new things I haven't played that I want to get to. I don't replay a lot of games unless it's been like 5-10 years. Although I guess that's true of this. It has been a while since I played it, but I don't know. No, it just hasn't even really crossed my mind. I mean, I basically didn't even watch the show for almost similar reasons. Like, no, I don't need to go back to that. It's okay.
Yeah, it was, I thought about watching the show. I really like Craig Mazin. I think that this is a fine sort of subject matter for a show. And then I'm like remembering kind of what that first episode was going to be like, and I'm like, I can't actually handle that as a dad right now.
Yeah, exactly. It's real. That's I always am like. There's a part of me. It's like the people like I played it 10 times. Like, don't you get tired of watching that little girl die? Like, I'm sorry, I'll just say it. Like,
Yeah.
jeez.
I'm like, I can't
gets-
handle a little girl.
It gets intense. Like, jeez.
Yep.
Like, oh, thank you.
Too raw for me. Too raw.
I mean, I have a hard time at the beginning of Jaws, right? Like, give you even the start of Resident Evil 4, the remake. Like, oh, this is almost a little too much. I don't need to see this poor woman doing this thing. Nah, we could have implied this. Thank you very much.
All right, let's get on to another Sony story. PSVR 2 seems to be a disaster. Is the reporting out of Bloomberg?
Shock.
Yes. Who could have predicted?
What?
The direct estimate is that Sony will sell around 270,000 PSVR 2 units between February 22nd, when it launched, and the end of March, which is far from Sony's ideal target launch of 2 million, which was previously reported by Bloomberg. Now,
you can't do 1/8 your projection.
Yeah, now let's say those were always internal numbers. Maybe that stuff changed. Maybe that's you know what though? Throw that out. I think 270,000 PSVR 2 units is not that many. Just period on its face.
I agree with that.
Regardless of what the goal was, and I think it's a low enough number that I wish. Do we know like what the PS Vita did early on, or PSVR?
You would still think that Vita sold 1 million
I do think
copies
that.
in its first few months.
I do think it
Come
probably
on.
sold probably about 1 million in the first 2 to 3 months. Yeah, so it's like this feels slighter than that, and I think the support from Sony going forward will reflect that. And it's going to be this vicious cycle. And I don't think PSVR 2 is long for this world. I think it gets a pretty deep holiday bundle discount this year. And then next year that discount doesn't go away, and people realize, oh, that's just the regular price now. They're just trying to get rid of these, and then they're going to sell the games they sell and not put much investment into it. And I think that's a shame because by all accounts, I've not used it. PSVR 2 hardware, very good.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I mean, there's like a chicken and the egg problem now. It's like, well, it's not doing well because there's not enough support, and now there won't be enough support because it's not doing well, right? They needed to come out so much stronger than this, and it feels like I don't think it was that they weren't prepared. I don't think they had their heart in that. I know you said before that this felt more like a Sony initiative as opposed to a PlayStation initiative. It feels like that because there's not much Sony stuff behind it. You've got that Horizon thing, and that's nice.
Yeah.
And here's a VR mode for Gran Turismo. Like, okay, that's cool. Like some stuff like that, but not nearly enough. Again, not having Astro. It should have been a sequel, but not even having that first game ready to go and ported over there. You can't play Astrobot Rescue Mission on this.
Yep.
That's insane. Everyone who knows about VR will tell you that's one of the best VR games, and Sony's got it on lockdown. You can't play it on a Valve Index or any of this other stuff. How did they not have that ready to go? And how did they not find a way to make that deal to get Half-Life Alyx on there, even if you somehow... And I doubt they would. Even if you would lose money on that deal, you make that deal so you can say we have Half-Life Alyx on this. That's just one bit more big game. A lot of people say like, oh, well, that's a game I want to get. I haven't played it yet. If I get this PlayStation VR 2, well, I know I can get that. I'll get this Horizon thing. Beat Saber, of course, I'll always get that. Oh, Astrobot, I heard that's really good. It didn't come anywhere near close to that.
I wonder, what is the most extreme thing they could do here to sort of save the hardware? And a lot of people suggest putting it on PC. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm thinking about it a little bit. And the way that the PSVR 2 connects to the PlayStation 5 is through that front USB port, which was like dedicated for this. And in my head, I'm like, okay, so could you plug that into a USB-C, 3.1 port on your PC? I don't think you could just like plug that in there. It would have to go in a USB 3 port on your GPU. And only the NVIDIA 2080 and 2080 Ti, I think, actually had that. There was a few cards that did do that, and they were going to use it for VR, and then they dropped that because they realized VR wasn't going to be much of a thing. So you'd have to be like, if you were going to put it on PC, you would have to, I think, and this I'm speculating, but I think this is the case. I think you would have to sell a separate dongle, plug it in, and then one of these cords would have to sprout out and then go into a USB 3.0 port on your PC, and then go into an HDMI port or a display port on your GPU.
Could they just re-engineer it a bit and make like a version of it that can work with PC also?
They definitely could, and they could do that and then also have the dongle, yeah. And I think on PC this thing would be a big success, especially at that price. But then does that price make sense for Sony if they're not getting most of that of the software sales going forward? Probably not. They are probably already kind of losing money on this thing.
Yeah, you think there's any hope of like a 3DS situation where the price drop is all you need to turn things around?
I think a price drop does move a little bit more, but I think by this holiday, if it gets a price drop, I think by then Sony internally has already moved on from it.
Why did it come out now? And it seems too early in the life cycle of this system. It's so far away from Christmas when these big expensive accessories, which is basically what this is, would do well. Everything about it is just bizarre. Like I forgot it even came out, to be honest, until
Yeah.
this story was popping up.
Yeah, it's I mean, I think it was just it was a misconception based on Sony being like the last PSVR sold well. This is something we could put our hardware teams to work on, from across the company. They're all really good at this stuff. Let's get them working on this and get some of that PlayStation juice. And I think PlayStation probably was, I mean, you remember Jim Ryan early on kind of being like, we might take a break on VR for a little bit. And then the next time he talked about it, a few weeks later, was like, we're all in on VR. And it felt like weird. That was a weird 180. I think it was a weird 180. I think he felt that they should move on and probably should like wait before they really assess the situation with how they should roll out VR. And then I think Sony above Jim Ryan was like, no, we're doing a PSVR 2. And now we get here and it feels very reminiscent of a Connect 2 situation where a peripheral sold really well last time and was kind of this like, breakout hit really. And then they try to do it again. And there's, it's not exactly one-to-one because obviously the Connect was bundled in there, but it's fumbling in a very similar way, I think.
At least they didn't go all in with the, like they did with the Connect. Gosh,
that reminds me, a huge mistake. Yes.
That would have been incredible. Like the PlayStation 5 costs, $1,500 because it has to have the PlayStation VR 2. It's an integral to it. Oh my God. Can you imagine? This reminded me on the voicemail dump truck today. People asked what would be like your Tolkoto name.
Yeah.
If you mix two people's names, you kind of, you basically didn't have an answer, but I have an answer for you, buddy. Don't worry.
All right. Lay it on me.
Well, just like how, J.R.R. Tolkien and Shigeru Miyamoto are very important to me.
Sure.
So I combine their names to make Tolkoto. The two most important people to you would be Jim Ryan and, of course, Joe Biden.
Of course.
So you would be Raiden.
Perfect. I love it. That's my new name everywhere. Everybody get you. And no one uses Raiden. So yeah.
No one's Raiden. Yeah, it hasn't been taken yet. Don't worry.
That's real good. I said Asa Akira Kurosawa, which is not an answer to that question. That's not how that works. That's also just a porn star and a director. And they're not actually even the most important to me.
Category.
Yeah, exactly. So, we'll look out for Raiden, everybody.
There you go.
Yeah, PSVR 2. We'll see what happens with this. I think they probably have a couple other games they're working on. At this point, I hope that this is a Sobi, right?
Team Sobi?
I hope that they are not stuck on working on a VR game, actually. Let's let them just make a big game for the PS5.
Yeah, I mean, that's the question, right? Like, because what are they up to? Did they say you're going to make like a bigger version of what you did with that pack-in launch game? Or is it you're going to make the big VR sequel to Astrobot Rescue Mission, and it's going to be like the holiday thing for that? I don't know. We'll see. I wonder if it is the latter, if they aren't going to just like make a non-VR version of it also somehow.
Yep. Super Mario Brothers movie has a post-credit scene. Mike, what do you think it is? You had some thoughts on this. So
I think Rosalina is the most likely. We've seen that Luma. They've been talking about galaxies in those trailers already. I think like doing a little bit of that in the next one. That makes sense. Wario and Waluigi, or even just Wario, also a distinct possibility. The wild one would be like if they used it as a way to push some other Nintendo stuff. Like if somehow it's a Zelda tease, that would be crazy. But that seems a little far-fetched, but who knows?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to go buck wild right away with something like that. That would be the wildest possible thing if Link and Zelda were in a post-credit scene. That would be it's the craziest thing that could still happen, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's Wario and Waluigi. I think that's the most likely thing, actually.
Well, I'll tell you what, if it's Wario and Waluigi, I owe you a Coke, and if it's Rosalina, you owe me $10,000.
Okay, that seems fair and equitable, and I would be happy either way, except for owing you $10,000. I'm not too thrilled about that.
They better make Rosalina real sexy.
Mike, I really like this picture of you at E3 in front of the tank. I mean, I know.
Oh, yeah.
I know that some people got mad at you about it, but I think
I almost didn't post. It's like, oh, people are gonna think like I'm, and I was like, whatever.
Yeah,
I know. I'll be doing the Tank Man thing. It's like, okay, guys.
It clearly just looks like you tried to stop E3 from being shut down. I like it.
It's whatever. I took the lump. Yeah, that was 2011 or 2012, one of my early E3s, and they had the
we know you have hair. We see.
Yeah, they had the World of Tanks display outside of South Hall, the one Sony always had its poster on. And I was like, guys, take a picture of me like Tank Man. Yeah, people. Yeah, see, I did not add the caption "Tokodum and squared." That would have gone over poorly. He's like, yeah.
Yeah. Oh boy. All right, hang on. I'm gonna bring it back here. Yeah, Wario and Waluigi is what I say, but Rosalina, we'll see. And not very long from now. Are you gonna go see this like opening
Yeah.
night?
I think I've got tickets. My brothers, we got those. So I'm going like opening up my brothers, and then I think sometime like in a couple weeks or like the week after that, my niece's like birthday party is one of those things where they rented out a whole theater, and we're all gonna get to watch it and like get popcorn and hang out in the
Oh
arcade or
my
something.
god, that's so
that'll be
fun.
fun.
That's
Yeah,
fantastic.
let's go.
Man, I should do something like that for the kids when I get back because I'll owe them because I'm gonna miss Easter.
Know Easter, how important Easter is to your family.
Yeah, exactly. God, deeply Christian. We got our tickets as well, and we're gonna be spending a day at Super Nintendo Land and then going to see the movie that night.
World, it's a whole world, not a land. Just come on, Nintendo Land was a Wii U launch
That's
title,
Super
Jeff.
Nintendo World. That's right, man. It's hard to keep them all straight because it's like there's lands and worlds for the games. And
It's true.
yeah, and then there's lands and worlds for theme parks. Just one of them was a Wii U launch game. All right, let's see here. I wanted to go over some of the games that are coming out in April, but first, let me just hit this real quick. Rest in peace to Mike Berlin, who was one of the programmers and writers on for many Bubsy games, including Bubsy and Bubsy 3D. Honestly, anyone who puts out a game it's a miracle. Games are so complicated; they shouldn't exist. And the fact that I can only imagine what it must have felt like being a programmer on Bubsy 3D and be like, we're trying to figure this all out from scratch. We have this new idea, and then put it out. And they've talked about this, and then playing Super Mario 64. I think it was brave and cool. And as much as I don't like that game, I like every single person who worked on it. So shout outs to Mike Berlin.
We've always said about Bubsy 3D, there's something admirable about it. It's not bad because of a lack of caring or trying.
No.
It's bad because they tried to do something that was new. And it was a very difficult thing to make a 3D platform then. Who knows what you're supposed to do? They didn't get to play Mario 64 before it all happened.
Yep.
So, hey, those first two Bubsy games, they are completely fine 2D platformers. They can even be fun. So
yep. I mean,
it's to you.
Yep.
What could possibly go wrong?
Exactly. What can possibly go wrong? I mean, watching Dan play Sonic, and then playing some of those boring games today. So you know what, Bubsy actually not boring. Bubsy
Would you
3D.
rather play that than Starsky and Hutch for GameCube?
I think for like the entirety of the game, almost, because at least Bubsy 3D is sort of audacious. It's like preposterous, and I like that actually.
Yeah. It was always fun watching you play it. I really always enjoyed that.
There was, like we say with Sonic 06, there was no excuse for Sonic 06. There's a lot of excuses for Bubsy 3D.
Yeah, Sonic 06 is like pathetic.
It's pathetic. It's shameless, and it's like really there is no excuse for it.
Right.
Exactly. All right. I've got a list of games coming out here in April. Now that we're at the end of March, somehow inexplicably already at the end of March.
What a March. I almost just want to start talking about how good Resident Evil 4 is now, but we'll do that later. But holy crap.
Yes, a good year for games already. Looks like it might continue here. Meet Your Maker is one that I'm interested in. This is a PlayStation Plus game that's out April 4th. It is a game where I think it's do you know that Dungeon Keeper game? I never played it.
AJ liked Dungeon Keeper. I remember. I never quite understood what was going on there.
So I think like you could be one of two things. You could set up your like contraption room, or you could be a runner. I think I'm going to explain this badly because I haven't played it yet, but it looks really interesting. And basically, what you do is you like just set up your room with all these traps and try to stop people from getting your stuff. And then like once you set it up, like hundreds of people go in there and run, and you get more points based on how hard it is, I'm assuming. And then once you set yours up, you can go out there and try to steal people's stuff from their rooms. And it's like, this seems like a really cool concept to take that Dungeon Keeper idea and turn it into like something like a third-person shooter. So I'm interested in that. That's out early in the month. Some of the things I'm taking this from Canooble's thing on Twitter. Everybody, Canooble does a really good like monthly release calendar. Thank you, Canooble. Everspace 2 comes out April 6th. EA Sports PGA Tours April 7th. Ghostwire Tokyo hits Xbox on April 12th. And then Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection, April 14th. Are you going to be playing that day one?
Yeah, so because I played the first two back in the day and then kind of fell off. So if 3 is apparently a lot of people's favorite, so I can get that. I could jump right into 3 and at least play that and have fun. And if I want to play 4 and 5 right after or whenever. Yeah, I mean those are good games. I remember liking 1 or 2. I just kind of was like, I don't need to do that again right away. Now it's been a very long time since I played one of these, so I'm excited. Let's go.
I've never really played. I've never even touched one. I don't think so.
They're pretty neat. They are unique because it's kind of RPG, but it's also like there's cards and it's like this grid thing. It's doing its own thing.
Sean says, "You promise you put it on the list from May Game Club."
That doesn't sound like something I would promise.
April 18th, Minecraft Legends, which is the real-time strategy Minecraft game. I'm curious about that one, Mike.
I'm not.
Yeah, most people aren't. That's why I wanted to. I'm glad you were honest about it and didn't try to humor me. Most people are not at all curious about this. I've got like this weird, like, what does that even look like? And also, like, how do they like translate that for an audience that's like probably never touched a real time strategy?
This is the one that looks like Giant Citizen Kabuto, right? That's the reference the kids get.
I think it does. It's got
Or
like some
Brutal
weird twist
Legend?
on it. Yeah, exactly. Brutal
It's like
Legend.
an RTS game, but you have a player character, right?
Right. So Warcraft 3. That's probably not right. Actually,
No, that's incorrect.
That's what
Good
you
try,
had.
though.
You had a champion, right, or a hero in Warcraft.
You had
3?
hero units in
Okay.
Warcraft 3 is all. Yeah.
And then you had like agents, and you had to defend them.
That was close.
Some other games I don't recognize. Horizon Forbidden West Burning Shores is April 19th. Coffee Talk episode 2. Let's see. Dead Island 2, April 21st. This is for like the last, or no, this is when it's coming out, right? So
Yes, I
yeah,
guess so, yeah.
April 21st, Dead Island 2. That's wild. I asked for a code for that, so maybe I'll get
I
it.
still don't even actually know what you do in Dead Island 1.
Mostly you kill helpless women, Mike, so I don't think you're going to like it.
I don't think I'd be a big fan of that.
I just said, I think the trailer was just always like, or maybe it was the statue for that Dead Island
There's
one.
that statue you get.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get a woman's torso for some reason.
Yes, with ripped off limbs, and I was always like, this makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But
Bet you walk to somebody's house and they have that
Yeah,
on their
exactly.
mantle.
Whenever I tweet something like that, people are like, I do. I'm like, okay, hey, fair enough.
Like,
You know
all right,
what?
Buffalo Bill, that's
Yeah.
fine.
At that day, though, Advanced Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp comes out, and I am ready for this. It looks so good.
It's happening.
Yep. I'll always have a place for those original games because they're like, oh, I love the Game Boy Advance look, but I'm glad that, Way Forward is actually just going all out with, or has gone all out with this because they haven't worked on this game for a very long time after more than a year delay.
That's right. This thing's been done for a while.
This thing's been done for a very long
mean,
time.
Hey, look, it was always a little like worrisome. Is it ever coming out? Well, it is.
Yep,
So
here it
that's
is.
good. Ooh, Guardians are about to play their season opener. Let's go, Guards.
Where are they playing? They must have been playing in.
They're playing in Seattle. So,
Okay,
yeah,
that's why that makes sense. There you go. Okay. And then let's see, The Last Case of Benedict Fox, which looked really interesting. That's April 27th. And then April 28th, last big game of the month, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, which I think a lot of people keep looking past because there's Zelda in May. But I'm like, oh yeah, Jedi Survivor in April.
Bit. I mean, I don't forget about it, but it does kind of feel like, hey, it's sandwiched in between Resident Evil 4 and Zelda, and of those three, it's the one I care the least about, I guess.
Yeah,
but I'm
I still
very
care
excited
deeply about it. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a preview event this week. We were actually supposed to have our Jordan be there from GamesBeat, but she got sick, so we didn't have anybody at the event. But a lot of people that were there. I saw, other Jordan Miller was there actually. So he was hanging out with what's the cute droid called in that one? Not BB-8.
Oh,
something else.
I don't know. Yeah, I can't remember. There's so many droids at this point that I care about. Yeah.
I think the Cal Kestis actor was there. But yeah, I'm excited for that. I like Jedi Fallen Order a lot. Although, I know
BD1. Thank you, Mike O'Leary.
BB, that's right. This is going to sound obnoxious to some people, but I'm nervous that they added fast travel to it. That's probably so obnoxious to people.
I'm nervous that they have done the Arkham Origin or Arkham Asylum to Arkham City thing, where it's like this is much more open and free will, and then so you're gonna need fast travel. I'm afraid that they've un-Metroidvania'd it.
They may have un-Metroidvania'd it, right?
I'm also worried about the story because the writer of the first one didn't work on this one because he got fired.
Fired.
Yeah, I mean it's that guy that was a legend, and then the case he got the case settled this past
Chris
week.
Avalon?
Yes, exactly.
Oh, that guy. Oh,
Right. Yeah, we got to move on. We can't talk about it. It's like yeah, I don't want to go back into those waters. People got real mad at me about that. So.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. Like for the last.
we should talk about it more.
Like the last
What's his
for the
name
last
again?
week since that settlement, they're like, "Where's your statement, Jeff Grubb?" I'm like, "Statement? What the fuck are you
What?
talking about?" Because
Oh
I would always
my
be like,
God.
"Allegedly." I'd make a joke about allegedly because he was
Yeah.
suing everybody. So I'd say
Right.
allegedly like 15 times, and then they're like, "Well, where's your statement?" I'm like, "My statement on making a joke about him suing everybody." Okay, he won his lawsuit. Good. All right. I never knew anything about it really. I just didn't want to get sued.
I'm getting a bit more above the radar these days. I hope I don't get as high above the radar as you are, Jeff. It sounds awful.
Yeah, I took an edible 2 weekends ago, and I had an existential crisis because I just have to realize some people are just straight up never gonna like me.
No, it's
I'd
weird.
have that real come to Jesus moment. It's like, oh wait, it's okay if because it's like at this point 1% of people don't like you. But now it's like, well, that's if I just look at my follower count, that's like thousands of people.
See, I still haven't had to deal with that. I haven't had to have somebody be like, I just don't like Mike Minotti. Right? I'm in this honeymoon phase. I'm new and exciting to these people right now. They're big fans.
And it's like, lots of people are very nice to me, and it's like, okay, just be cool
Just
with
focus on
that.
that.
And don't even focus on any of it. Just be cool with it, and then ignore the rest of it.
Sure.
Yes. All right. Okay. So back to April. That I read a bunch of games there. I think April, despite all those
Everyone in
games,
chat. Sorry, everyone in chat's me like, I don't like Mike Minotti. It feels awful. You're right, Jeff. I
You're
hate
talking
it.
about all the other communities that we're in. This one is like they despise us. They like
Yeah,
the
they
game
despise
community's like these schmucks. We just come here to
Yeah.
wait for them to mess up so we could jump all over them.
That's exactly right. Thumbs down. No, don't do it.
I think April is like one of the slower months this year, despite all
Yeah,
the
it
games
is.
I just read. That's wild. This is going to
Well-
be a good year for games.
Yeah, I mean, May's good and June's going to be just absolutely bonkers with Final Fantasy 16, Street Fighter 6, and Diablo 4. It's going to be insane.
Yep. I can't wait. It's going to be really good. Okay, Mike, let's go ahead and hit a quick break. When we get back, we will be doing a BOP special quiz where we try to guess the Metacritic scores from classic
We have
games.
a lot of super chats. We should do that first, even.
Yes, and then we will also have a Mount Rushmore of fours. So the fourth game in a series. Mike will explain exactly what he's thinking there because it was his idea. And then when we get back, of course, we'll read super chats first. We'll be right back, everybody. Okay.
All right, I'm going to hit the bathroom real quick.
Yeah, Benji Bob, I hate do this show, so don't worry. Yeah, I'm right there with you.
I like it. It's fun.
I'm most excited about Diablo 4 after the beta. I just feel like I played that game before. Yeah, I think that's one of the underlying things. A lot of people seem like, hey, it's dark in a way I wanted, but then I think a lot of people are like, this is pretty safe.
I hate y'all the most.
Yeah, I mean, no, man, I get it. Of course.
We know. Don't you worry. We
Yeah.
know.
Oh man, this Titanfall picture. God,
Fuck, man.
man, that
Lost again.
Titanfall event was so good.
Man, remember Titanfall?
Yeah, man.
Oh, my friend
I
has a
remember
picture with
Titanfall.
that mech. It's cool.
I think there was this concert is I made Mike go with me. It was Empire of the Sun, which is actually they're popular now because of TikTok. I really like Empire of the Sun.
What's
That
a
was really
TikTok?
fun. Yeah, what's a TikTok? That was
It took him a little bit to.
this is just like a little E3 concert. They don't do that at GDC. I should be. Let me go back here because I went on some. There was pictures of me just on a vacation. Oh, okay. Here's a good one. This is me with the donut wall at play. This is the one where I was wearing my Giant Bomb Venco shirt. And this is an embarrassing story. I've never told it, everybody. I was wearing my Venco shirt, and I was in line to play the PSVR 1 demo where, like, you're in the car with the lady, and you're basically...
Cindy.
They're trying to get
I
you to
saw
look
it
at the
today.
lady.
Yes.
But that's not the embarrassing part. The embarrassing part is, like,
She's.
Brad and some other guys from Dry Bob came up and were, like, waiting in line. And I think they noticed my Venco shirt, but I was too, like, embarrassed to, like, talk to them because I didn't want to look like a fanboy. So I just pretended to be talking on the phone, so that I didn't have to engage with them. So that was very cool.
What a fucking loser.
I am maybe the biggest loser who's ever walked the earth. Yeah.
Oh, man. That's funny. Yeah, I saw Cindy. Explain how Cindy looks.
What a
for
coward.
other
That's
people.
right, AT. God, just a giant coward. Yeah, it basically was like, yeah, Cindy with the short shorts and like the low cut shirt, and
yeah.
so everyone everyone who went before me was just like leering and putting their face in her lap and like getting a
Naturally.
close up look
Getting
at
the
her
money's
boobs.
worth.
Yeah, totally.
It was Mike, wasn't it?
It was all Mike.
Hey, nice donut wall.
Yeah, I love that donut wall. I didn't eat any of the donuts from the donut wall though. This was that good. This was that really good PlayStation event where it was the stage show and they had the projector all over the floor and the orchestra down there and and then they had a bunch of really good games like God of War and stuff. It was a really good show. And then this was what the Airbnb would look like. Yeah.
There are streams of you too. I remember those streams of you and Mike and Dean on the Airbnb, just talking to a camera.
Yep, that's right. We did some. We did
So
some shows.
like I used to watch those. It's like because you did it before Giant Bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Okay.
I remember because you were before Giant Bomb, and I was like, I'm gonna just watch Grubb.
Yep. That's right.
Whatever he's doing there, that weird, shitty internet connection.
Yeah.
Man, I'm gonna miss it, Tree.
We made it work. All right, Mike, are you ready to get back into it?
I'm ready. We can start with these super chats.
Okay. Mike, let's get to those super chats.
Carlos, I don't know why I just like really went into it, but yes, I'm ready to go. Carlos Lopez says, Grubb, is the bomb crew still going to LA during E3 week? Seems like you'd have more guests join the show during Summer Game Fest now that it also has a physical component.
So, listen, we haven't booked our travel or anything like that. When we talked about this last week, the general consensus was we're just going to go, but part of that was always going for Summer Game Fest. We got invites for other things. We got invites for other things, so we're assuming that we'll get invites for Summer Game Fest whenever those do happen. And so it's like we'll go to Summer Game Fest, and then however long we need to continue that trip, we'll do that. If that includes some E3 stuff, great. If it's no E3 stuff and a bunch of other things, great. But we'll be there. And yes, the plan will probably be, since Summer Game Fest will have stuff that night, maybe we do our nightly stuff around that time instead. All that stuff's still in planning, but we will figure that out very soon once we all kind of get back from these trips, because we got everybody out right now. But honestly, the only people from work today that were there, me and Jan. And then the only people that be there like next Tuesday will just be Bacalar, because everyone else is going to be traveling. So going to be a busy couple of weeks.
Oh, does Bacalar want me to do things with him?
Probably. Yeah.
Me and Bacalar are going to have a good time.
That'd be fun.
Jeff.
Yep.
He's the best chef on that site.
Wow.
Rogers OG says, "Can't believe you guys killed E3. So sad." Someone had to yeller that.
Yeah, that's the thing. Just take it behind the shed. Do what had to be done.
It's my press. It's my media event, Pa. I'll do it. Tyler James Bay says Tommy Tallarico will save E3. Tommy Tallarico's been radio silent for a while now, hasn't he?
Oh man, such a shame. I miss him.
I guess, to be clear, that's what he should do. I wish he was the kind who would like be really like combative.
Yeah, tweet through it. I wish he would tweet through it.
I wish he would tweet through it, but he actually seems smarter than that. So good for
Weird.
him.
That's weird.
Yeah. GeoBite says, can't catch the cast tonight. Just want to support. Have a good one, guys. Where do you fellas stand on the alleged Switch 2 dev kits getting sent out? Thank you so much, GeoBites.
I don't believe it.
News, Jeff?
I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
I don't believe it either. Remember when there was like the Switch Pro dev kits being sent out like 2 years ago or something?
I bet
that might have happened, I guess.
That might have happened. I don't think this thing has happened. I think this is just one of those rumors that seems fake.
Dr. Butthugger says, you fools! Now nothing stands in the way of Devolver Digital. They should just do their thing anyways. Why the hell not, right?
They will probably do something, right? They'll probably have some sort of dancing on E3's corpse, and I'll be there for it. I love that stuff. So they always had an antagonistic relationship with E3, so I don't expect that to stop now.
Rachel Acker says, I love pizzas with all the veggies on it plus pineapple. What's your favorite pizza toppings or even pizza hot takes? I'm a pep boy. I just like my pepperonis. If you want to put sausage on there too, that's cool. But pepperoni's my favorite. I think my hot take is that all pizza should be stuffed crust. Stuffed crust is actually just always a good thing. It's not gauche. It's not like garish. Whatever. No, just more cheese. That's good. How about you, Jeff?
I like that. I like that hot take. My go-to for since I was a kid is pepperoni and mushroom. That's what we would get at whenever we'd have a pizza night. But that evolved eventually into like usually getting a Hawaiian pizza, which would be ham and pineapple, along with like another regular one, and then we'd kind of like have a lot of leftovers, and then that was like too much. So recently, I would still just kind of do a small like special pizza, and then like a big pepperoni and mushroom. But yeah, that pepperoni and mushroom has actually come back in a big way for me, and that's like my favorite right now.
You have a hot take? You have a pizza hot take? I can't imagine you do, to be honest.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, here it is. New York pizza is overrated. Like the whole fold, like they're like, oh, you have to fold it, and it's like, oh, it's this religious. Get over it. Go fuck yourselves. Actually, it's not. It's not as good as you're making it out to be.
I think it's very good, but I think there's all kinds of
very good.
pizza.
It's overrated as like being like the number one pizza that all pizzas should aspire to.
Well, of course it's like the one that gets religiousized because it's New York. So
right.
Sure, but it's
like New York is usually pretty cool about their stuff. They're like, we're not really in a competition. Of course we're number one. Their pizza, they're a little bit sort of insecure about it.
Insecure about it?
Yeah.
Maybe. I did get some pizza when I was there for that Final Fantasy 16 event. And
New York pizza, very delicious. Of course it is.
It's very good, but like I think Chicago's very good. I mean, I have that shirt for Youngstown. I think Youngstown pizza is fantastic.
I think a lot of places do pizza really well. A lot of places throughout the Midwest do pizza very well. I mean, Detroit style is very good right now.
See, I haven't actually had Detroit style yet.
But there's Jets Pizza. Next time we're hanging out, we'll get Jets Pizza, which is like that's the really good chain version of Detroit style pizza.
Let's do it. Next one here is from McBallsniff. McBallsniff. It says PlayStation VR 2 will be where Forspoken is in the landfill. There you go. They can rest next to each other in eternity. Prinny Dude says, I don't know why people are mad about the Diablo Xbox bundle. It's a bundle, not a special edition. Fans didn't get mad at Sony for the GOW. I guess
I have not kept up with this.
God of War or Horizon was. To be clear, I have missed this discourse
Why
completely.
are people mad?
I have not even heard about
Diablo
this.
4 Xbox bundle.
Yeah,
I do look at it.
Yeah, I hadn't even heard about this, but I can tell you who's mad about it probably, and it's based off of what he's saying. Why didn't fans didn't get mad at Sony for the blah blah blah? I bet maybe you could find Xbox fanboys who got mad about it. Just like there's probably gonna be Sony fanboys mad at this. There's
no design on the console. Is that what it is?
Is that what? No, I think
that's what Mikey.
I don't think it's that because he says fans didn't get mad at Sony for other bundles. I have no idea what it's about.
But the God of War and Horizon ones didn't have designs on them.
It's not a first-party game. Apparently, people thought it was a cost. Oh, it's because there's no design. Oh, I see.
You waited for someone else to tell you the same thing, and now you believe them?
Well,
wow. Okay. All right. No, cool. Let's see.
Okay, fair. That's fair, actually, Jeff. Yeah, never mind then. So, yeah, well, I will say that it's kind of weird, Diablo. Why not just add some stuff to it? But yeah,
I think we're still early enough in the generation in terms of like availability of these consoles that's kind of like probably a headache. And sourcing stuff for a whole different run of consoles. I guess I don't know do they just slap a decal on at the end or some paint on in the end? Can they do that easily? Can they get the tooling done?
They have an artisan with a brush.
Yeah, exactly.
Each one down the line.
Like, what does that actually look like?
Draws a little devil horn on it.
The fact that they haven't done these things more frequently, to me, says it's just enough of a headache that it's not worth it.
When's the last time you've had like a special like decorated home console?
Home console, fucking never. I really thought about getting a few of them here and there, but
did you get that R2D2 Xbox 360 back in the day?
Was like an Xbox Series E or something, or Xbox One E or whatever.
No, it was like that Xbox 360 Slim. I think was it because that Star Wars Kinect game came out? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I definitely remember seeing that, but I don't remember which one. I never seriously considered it because it's like the idea of spending money on a home console to replace this other home console is weird, and yet I buy 6 or 7 DSs and 5 or 6 3DSs. So I'm a hypocrite.
All right, next one here is from Jaguar Gaming Network, who just says, "Love you guys." Thank you, Jaguar.
Love you too, Jaguar Gaming Network. Do you do stuff based on Jaguar? Because I would totally watch some of that shit. So yeah, let me know.
Nintendo Derek says, "Since I just bought Ace Attorney 4, 5, and 6 on 3DS a week or so ago, we now finally get them on Switch. Also, what are your other Naughty 3 predictions that aren't based on any current rumors or leaks?" I wouldn't be shocked. We have Ace Attorney 1, 2, and 3 and the 2 great Ace Attorney games on Switch now. I think we might even get those Miles Edgeworth games, those 2, on Switch first, especially since one of them never got localized before, so they know there will be some excitement for that. I could see a 4, 5, and 6 bundle some day, though. I'm hoping we get Ace Attorney 7, though. Do you have any other predictions for summer gaming, not based on any current rumors or leaks?
Yeah, it's
It
tough.
could be anything. It's tough. It is tough.
Yeah, because it's like a lot of stuff. It's like I'm like, oh, I heard about that, but not that like I've heard so much. It's just that's where my brain keeps going.
They're gonna delay Starfield again.
Yeah, there you go. They will. Starfield's not even real, and they're gonna reveal that at the next E3. There you go.
Oh, Grug says, when was the last time Mike had feelings? Anger's a feeling. I was really angry the last time I was watching Jeff played Minish Cap, so there you go.
There you go. That's yeah, that counts.
He started a long series of fetch quests and even said, I'm not going to watch this. And then I couldn't help myself and tuned back in. And I got very mad at his impatience for it all. Hey, you Peekaboo says, you both are cool, and I like you even when you are the biggest losers in the room. Thank you, Mom.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That's yeah. I told a story where I was a big loser, Mike. So.
Well, when you peed in the bush.
No, that was a cool dude thing. That was a cool guy move in LA. No, this was where I was wearing a giant bomb shirt and I was too embarrassed to say hi to the giant bomb guy, so I pretended I was talking on the phone when I was in a line and they were not far from me.
I've done stuff like that.
Yeah, sure.
I remember
because we're both huge losers. That's what yes.
Yeah. I remember when Ron Gilbert was at the Sega booth because they were publishing his one game, The Cave. And he was like right there, and I was just like really nervous, kind of like hovered around and didn't go say hi to him. I got to interview him like later for Thimbleweed Park and then again for Monkey Island, so it was fine. But at the time, I was like, oh, I'm too scared. Big Fresh 37 says, update us on Contraband, silly goose. All right, Jeff, update him.
I don't think there's much to update you on. I mean, we might see it, we might not. It seems like it's still pretty far away, though.
And then the next one here's from Dr. Butthugger, 360 faceplates in landfill with Forspoken and PlayStation VR 2. Man, those 360 faceplates work pretty good. Again, my younger brother, who does not like JRPGs, really got into Eternal Sonata, the JRPG where you play as classical musician Chopin, and he had an Eternal Sonata faceplate for his 360. It was just the weirdest thing. It was like, do you want to play like Final Fantasy? Or he's like, nah. Okay. Enjoy Eternal Sonata then.
That is a strange one for sure.
That's it with the super chats for now. Guys, if you want to send more super chats, we will read them before the end of the show. Thank you all so much for that.
All right. That is going to take us to our first special segment here. I'll get this set up. Actually, we're going to take a quick break while we get it set up. We'll be right back. Okay, this will just take a second, everybody. Sean is here. He has provided it.
Hello.
It's covering Mike's face, so I will fix that. Hello, Sean. Let's see here.
Need help with anything?
Christian, what was that?
No, if you need help with anything.
No,
I was actually asking Sean.
Oh.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
So.
Let's see. All right, there we go.
It was a 360S, by the way.
Yes, 360. Yes, I was like mumbling to myself, correcting myself there at the end. All right, let me get this. Hey, there we go. It just filled itself in. Perfect.
Nice.
Actually,
Oh.
Actually, let me try this. Show my camera. No, that didn't fix it. All right.
Yeah, no.
French toast beer. Nothing's better than French toast beer. When I drink
I
it,
found out that
the
what would we call it? Liquor store. The liquor store near my local card shop has that French toast beer in. So next time I'm
there you go
at a local tourney, I'm gonna pick some up.
We for Jeff's birthday, we actually went to a Southern Tier, like they had like a bar. And they were out of the French toast beer, so Jeff got something else instead. It was like 10%, and it was awful.
It wasn't bad because it was 10%, although that didn't help. It was bad because it was the sweetest beer I've ever had, and it was like drinking syrup. I couldn't.
Well, they do that a lot with the really high alcohol beers because high in alcohol, you gotta make it sweet.
Yes.
Yeah. What was it? Like flavor?
Was it like waffle?
Was it like vanilla? No, Dave had the vanilla thing. What was yours? It was like
waffle or something.
No, it wasn't quite waffle, but something like that, yeah.
Probably corn syrup or some shit like that.
Probably. All right, let me see here. There we go. Okay, I think we're good.
Don't worry, Chris, you can do it. Chris is franchising. He's playing freelancer and Hitman. He loves it, but he's bad at it.
Yeah, everybody's bad at it. It takes some time. Yeah.
Takes all time, though. Don't worry, you'll get there. I'm bad at it too.
All right, we'll get started here in a second. I'm just gonna put on this one more time. Okay, I'm gonna bring us in now, Mike. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Sean, you ready?
Yep.
Okay, we're back, and we are ready for Closest to the Messy Pin, Volume 4. Sean, this is your show with the help from Bop. Why don't you take it away?
Thank you very much, Jeff. That's right. It's time for everyone's favorite game show within a podcast. That doesn't rhyme with Billy Nair. A Bop original presented by me, powered by Metacritic. If it's your first time seeing/listening to this, the rules are simple. These guys are going to try to guess the Metacritic score of a game as it currently stands on Metacritic.com. They'll be provided with some small bits of information, and their goal is to get as close to the messy pin, as close to the actual score as possible. It's golf rules. By the end of it, they want to have the lowest score possible, aka they want to have the lowest deviation from the actual score. If they
I won last time.
If they happen to nail the score exactly, I will deduct 5 points from their score. So there's a high risk, high reward little strategy you can do there. As Mike mentioned, he won last time. Therefore,
can we call them strokes instead of points?
Please.
I don't want you referring to anything as strokes, Jeff.
That's fair.
Okay. When I get this pulled up, Jeff will be making the first prediction. But first, a special announcement that Bop's alma mater, FAU, is in the Final Four and is their first Final Four after only one previous tournament appearance. 2002, lost in the first round. Even if you don't watch sports or don't have a team to root for, consider rooting for the Cinderella team, Florida Atlantic. Thanks. Go Owls. Please, for the love of God, don't send me hate mail. That is all Benji Bob. Anyways.
I'm rooting for the Owls now. Screw it.
Hey, congratulations, Bob. That's awesome. I actually was rooting for FAU.
Let's get into the game. Jeff, I want you to tell me what you think. Mirror's Edge,
Ooh.
the Xbox 360 version, released November 11th, 2008, based on 82 Metacritic review scores, has currently on Metacritic.com.
Okay, let me think about this a little bit. So,
Interesting.
You know what? No, let me not think it out loud because Mike Minotti goes after me. I'm going to say 82.
82. All right,
yes.
all right. Let's put that in there.
I figured it was 80s. And I was wondering if it was lower or not. Because I do remember there was some people who were like, oh, I remember a lot of people got really hung up on guns not being like great. That's not realizing that you weren't really supposed to use guns, like just because you can't. Yeah. But I think maybe a little bit higher than that. I'll say 85.
Mike's going with an 85. Okay. Now that both the points are in, Jeff, did you want to?
Yeah, it was along the same lines as what Mike was thinking, where it's like I think a lot of people were like very impressed by it, but I think a lot of people also didn't. A lot of reviewers were pretty early on and like not quite grokking it immediately because like, well, the combat in this game isn't very good. And it's okay, that's not really the idea, but I think that's going to be reflected in the early review score. Well, in the review scores.
All right. Well, moment of truth has come, and the score that is currently sitting with is a 79.
What?
Okay, that's crazy, though. That's crazy.
That is shame on everyone. That's insane.
That seems about right. Yeah, like an 8 out of 10. That seems about right.
Go to hell. That's insane. Oh my God.
Sorry, Mike, the game's not that good. Anyways,
all right,
you will be...
It's just as bad as Super Metroid. Okay.
No, Super Metroid is worse. That's a 7 out of 10.
Oh my God.
The next game is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 on PlayStation 2. I don't think that's a typo there. Release date is October 28th, 2001, and this is based on 34 critic reviews. Mike, you get the first guess.
What do you think was a typo?
PlayStation 2 for Pro Skater 3?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm saying I'm assuming he did not typo that and mean the PS1 version.
No, oh yeah, for sure, definitely not. That does exist. I actually played that recently. It was weird. So this was very. Some places gave this really high scores. I don't think as many people were like GameSpot and gave it a 10 out of 10, but probably still pretty high. I'm gonna say a 90. through 93. 93.
93.
Shit.
Okay. Hanging them high.
I hate that because it's like
I'm gonna figure out.
I was thinking 94, but now it's like, man, do I want to be on the high end of Mike? That's tough.
Everyone wants to be on the high end of me.
Yeah.
Well, thanks to Jeff's
79 for
stupid
Mirror's
rule,
Edge.
you can guess 93 as well.
It's
Apparently,
not a stupid rule. It's a good rule.
I think it's a stupid rule too, actually.
Because
Yeah, thank
if you feel in your gut that's the right score, what you have to just give up 5 points, you guys are insane.
That's why we alternate.
The chances of you actually like feeling that strong about 2 in a row. Okay, whatever.
All right, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
You mean like you did in that one game where you got 2 exactly right?
That was all luck. All right. I'm gonna go 94.
94. Okay. Sort of reverse Price's writing, Mike. There.
Yeah, I don't feel
All
great
right.
about it.
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, these games are held in very high regard, but the question is 3. How does 3 compare, especially compared to 2, which if I'm not mistaken, is still the second highest rated game on Metacritic?
That's messed up.
So-
3's better.
Yep.
The current score is sitting at 97.
Wow.
It is
Okay.
also up there. Dang.
Man,
I'm blowing it. This isn't good.
I did not know Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 was the number 2 highest rated game on Metacritic. That's crazy.
It's been a while since I checked, but I believe it's Ocarina of Time.
It's
98.
98. Man,
Pro
okay.
Skater 2?
Man, Tony Hawk's
Yeah.
Pro Skater
Yeah.
games do fucking rule.
Yeah,
They
they
do.
do. Oh God, what have I done? Bop, I thought you disabled this. Anyways, the
Oh, it's Bob's
third.
fault.
I mean, he's saying disabled that, but I'm not gonna hold him to that. He's a good guy. Game number 3 tonight is going to be Diablo 2 for PC. Released June 28th, 2000. This is based on 34 critic reviews. So I'll be Jeff picking first here.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna go pretty high, I think, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna go 92. 92.
92.
Yeah.
Okay. Another high one here.
Yeah.
Mikey, maybe you're more in tune with Diablo here, so I'm interested.
Yes,
to
I didn't
see
play
what you
Diablo
have
a
to say.
ton.
I do remember there were some people at the time, because this is like 2000, so there were, of course, some people who couldn't believe it didn't have 3D graphics, right? And there were some people who I think actually put that against it. So I'm going to say, God, it's Diablo 2, though. It's nuts. Part of me does not want to undershoot Jeff, but I do think that was a thing. As stupid as it is, I think that was a thing. I'll say 91.
Okay, you think you got a little Symphony of the Nighted there?
Yeah, well, that was a thing with Symphony Night for sure.
No? All right, well, Diablo 2, the overall score, as it stands on Metacritic.com, is 88.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I was right, man. Yeah,
There it is.
it's stupid, but it was a thing with that game,
Man.
right? It's incredible.
Yeah,
So
that's
going-
crazy. Yeah, I was kind of shooting in the dark there. I'm like, I know it's a really highly regarded game.
It is hilarious to think about that, though, since early 3D has not aged particularly well.
Oh yeah, Diablo 2 looks way better than like all those other actual 3D games from
absolutely.
2000.
I definitely knew that Diablo 2's like the estimation of that game increased over time though. So I guess I'm not too surprised, but 88 feels really low even at launch.
It's weird.
Still an incredible score, though.
Yes.
Worth keeping in mind.
Yes.
Just like 79, still a very good score.
No.
Game
not,
number
actually.
4 is The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time.
I get to go
Released
first.
on the Nintendo 64. November 23rd, 1998, based on 22 critic reviews.
This is the highest scored game on Metacritic. I think it's a 99.
Which is it 99?
I think it's 99 exactly. I think it's 99.
Well, Mike, it's your pick. You're going with 99, locking it in?
That's right.
All right.
Are you telling me that you guys really think in this situation I have to say a different number? Come on.
Yes.
Well, considering you're in the lead, yeah.
No, I'm 99. I think this is the highest rated game on Metacritic. We know that Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 or 2 had 98. We talked about that. 99. No, I'm going right there. I'm not risking it. That'd be crazy.
Boo.
It is in the rule book. You know, it's a dumb rule, but we're
It
abiding
is.
by it. We did
The
all agree
only
upon
thing
it.
that makes sense. I'm gonna fight all you.
We should ask chat what they think about this rule. I'm curious.
I think chat should do the right thing in this. But anyways, I'm going to reveal the score for Ocarina of Time, which, again, I can't see crap on my PC right now because of the way this programmer works. But I believe it's still the #1 rated game on Metacritic and is currently sitting at 99. So you both lose 5 points. Very boring round. Thanks, Jeff.
Oh my god.
Game number 5. Oh, you're gonna tell me you never do this to me on Jeopardy? You gonna give me
I don't
that?
recall ever being difficult on Jeopardy. I've never would never be.
I'm gonna fucking pull you through the ringer tomorrow. Oh my god. Game number 5, the last game of the evening, is The Curse of Monkey Island, released on PC October 31st, 1997, based on 9 critic reviews. And Jeff will be deciding his score first.
85. I just had to let something come out of me because I have no guess. I really don't know, so I had to just like let the spirit move me, and I'm putting in 85.
Okay. I'm a little scared by that.
I really wanted to guess 85. God damn it. Well,
You can.
I got it. No.
You can.
And lose. No, I gotta hope
for
it did
the last
better.
round, you're right. It's a little weird, but whatever. Fuck off.
Yeah, right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, imagine that. 80. Well, let's hope for the best with my boy, Curse of Monkey Island. It was very pretty. Had that incredible hand-drawn art. Hopefully, just a lot of adventure game freaks reviewed it.
Wait.
Let's say 88.
Okay, I was going to say, are you going to try to like be 3 closer, or are you going to try to get it exactly right? Like, which move are you going for here?
I'm kind of trying to cover both bases.
Okay,
there.
all right.
All right, 88, final answer.
Yep.
All right, gonna be interesting to see how this one shakes out. The Curse of Monkey Island, currently sitting at 89.
Ooh.
Oh man, no!
Ooh.
Wait, did we
Which
just tie
means
again?
that tonight's game ends in a tie.
God damn it!
I
That's
would have won
incredible.
if Jeff didn't get the cheat.
Oh
Yeah,
my
the
picked the
stupid
same
rule kind of
number
screwed
as me.
everything over there.
You guys do not want to put up with me if I wasn't allowed to do that same thing for the game that we all know had the score. I would be
I actually
completely
agree with.
miserable. Yes, you
I
guys
agree
would
with
not
that
want to deal with me.
1,000,000%.
Yes.
I feel like Mike is flip flopping here. I'm not sure I like this.
No,
All
I
right,
agree,
so-
Jeff. I don't. He would be furious.
Go
Remember
over the
that we
final
still
scores
hear
again for
about
everybody.
the carts. We still hear about the
The final scores for the evening: Mike 9, Jeff 9, all tied up, which means that this game is a wash.
Yep, there it is. Do we have like our like full history of like who's won and who's lost and tied?
It's gone back and forth each time. This is 4. You picked first, so it's Mike at 2, you at 1.
Yes, and then we didn't have a tie before. Well, no, we had ties going into the last round.
You've had ties before, yes, but you've never ended on tie.
Right. Okay. Cool. Thank you so much, Sean. I appreciate
Mine's
that.
at 89.
All right, let's go ahead and get back to this. Let me close that. Actually, you know what? Well, oh no, there it is. I can bring it back right now. All right, cool. That brings us to our other segment of the night, the Mount Rushmore of 4s. Mikey, you had this idea. Why don't you lay out what you're thinking?
Well, we had Resident Evil 4, which is a very prominent game that is a 4th entry in the series and has the 4 in the name. And, you know, everyone talks about like the 2s, even the 3 sometimes. 4 is interesting. Not every game series makes it the 4. I thought it'd be fun to figure out what are the most important / best of the 4s out there.
Hey, Mike, before
Yeah?
I forget, if you insist on playing a Mega Man on here, it's X4, not the original 4. Okay, thanks, bye.
I know. All right, thank you, Sean. So, Jeff, you ready to start considering this stuff?
Yes, let me go ahead and just yes, let me go ahead and get this up for everybody so everyone can see it. I mean, my initial reaction here is, I mean, clearly we're going to put Resident Evil 4 on there. Like, there's just no world in which that doesn't happen.
You can write Resident Evil 4 and you can imagine it's the remake. You can imagine it's the original.
Right, Resident Evil 4 just goes up there.
That's a big boy, big game, big sequel. Right. You know, there's a lot of games we're going to talk about. I don't know if there's many other ones where it's like, oh yeah, the 4th one's the best one. That doesn't happen too often. I think it's definitely the case with Resident Evil 4. So
right.
That makes a lot
I mean,
of
best
sense.
of that series, best game on many of the platforms it's on. Yeah, it is clear. It is also like this really good example of the series going back and forth a bunch of times between what it is. I mean, I guess that was the one where it's like we're gonna really go action for the first time in a big way in Resident Evil, more so than even Resident Evil 2 and 3 were. And then they just nailed it, and it completely reworked what that franchise was, completely reworked what shooting in a third-person game was going to look like for a very long time. Honestly, since then, this is kind of what third-person action-adventure games look like. They over the shoulder. You're going to be kind of off-center. It's like, yeah, this really defined what gaming looked like in a lot of ways.
It was kind of the first 360 era game, if that makes sense, right? Even
Yes.
like the color palette and stuff like that, right? Like this basically defined what that whole next generation was going to look like and beyond, really. So yeah, Resident Evil 4 is a lock, and there's a lot that I'm like almost just not as sure about. Even just looking at chat, there are so many that I'm like, oh yeah, maybe that. Oh wow, maybe that. Let's talk about what Sean said right now.
Yes, go ahead.
Because there's Mega Man 4, and then there's Mega Man X4. I like Mega Man 4. It's the first one to have the Mega Buster, actually, so that's neat. I always say this about Mega Man 4 specifically, that it gets overlooked now, but if there was only one Mega Man game on the NES, and it was Mega Man 4, but it was just called Mega Man, everybody would be talking about how Mega Man 4 is like maybe the best NES game. But because it's, one of 6, it
Right.
kind of gets overlooked. It still has some really good music. It has some great bosses. I'm a big fan of Pharaoh Man, actually, like the whole Dr. Cossack thing. But it is like one of 6 Mega Man games on the NES. Mega Man X4 is probably like the only other essential Mega Man X game aside from the first one. It's the first one where you can do a full like playthrough as Mega Man or Zero. It looks gorgeous because it was, this PlayStation 1 thing, so it has this really nice sprite art. It actually had a story and has the bad voice acting, but it was the story, and it was a good time. I'm not sure if maybe it makes it up there. I think it should be considered Mega Man X4.
Okay.
But I don't know if it's gonna make it. There's a couple other Mega Man series that made the 4. Mega Man Battle Network 4. I don't think too many people think that's the best one. Mega Man 04 is good, but Mega Man 03 is really the one where it's actually at. So I think Mega Man X4 is the Mega Mans that make it there. Is there one you want to talk about, Jeff?
I want to throw just a couple out there to see like where we're at. Like Metal Gear Solid 4. That's the one that, because let's be clear, we are talking about games that proudly wear the number 4 in their title.
I want to see that number 4. Like, sorry, Super Mario World. Sorry, even Metroid Fusion.
Yes,
like,
exactly. That's the one I was going to ask about. Yes, but no, that is not going to be categorized here. Okay, so then
Nintendo's funny with Super Mario Advance 4. Super Mario Brothers.
I was going to play that joke later, Nintendo. So thank you for
too.
throwing it out there. Absolutely,
You guys are funny.
Okay, so Metal Gear Solid 4. How do you feel about that one?
I like Metal Gear Solid 4. I don't know too many people who are going to say that it is 1, the best Metal Gear Solid game, or 2, somehow important beyond the world of Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, it's I think we will quickly knock it off this list anyhow, but yeah, I think maybe we don't even need to put it up there. It's I think just in so many other ways. I don't know. For me, it's a very small sort of game in that series where it's like it doesn't have the best gameplay. And I guess maybe it's most notable for just being the most out there story in terms of what's going on.
I mean, to me, I still think of it as one that is the most story. Like,
yes, most.
It is mostly cutscenes. Like the gameplay stuff is probably like 4 or 5 hours worth of gameplay, and then it's a lot of cutscenes. And like, I almost didn't mind back then because I was just so anxious to see how that all ended. So it was fine, but you don't get an award for that.
Okay, so then here's my real one. Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare.
Yeah, they sure did sneak that 4 in there, and even already it kind of felt like the numbers weren't as important as they used to be. But
well, I mean,
it
for
is
that
Call
first
of
one,
Duty 4.
it still felt like Call of Duty 4 at launch, and then very quickly after launch. So I don't think they were like sneaking. I don't think it was like a conscious thing. I think at launch it was like Call of Duty 4. Like, yeah, there's been ones before this, and this is from that Infinity War team, and that Call of Duty was really good, wasn't it? And I guess those other ones were actually really fun to play online on PC. And this looks like a pretty good one on console in the Modern Warfare. And then at launch, it was like Modern Warfare, Modern Warfare, Modern Warfare. Everyone called it Modern Warfare. But yeah, that's Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare. I think for me, this is like a really strong contender.
I think it's a very strong contender. It's, I mean, it changed the shape of that franchise, but had huge ramifications outside of it. Basically just set the pace for every first-person shooter and basically every online game. After that, just in terms of this idea of, people should like level up their accounts.
Yes.
Isn't that a cute idea? Leveling up your account.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, that works out, actually. Turns out that is kind of the missing secret sauce to all of this.
Yep. Get people in that grind, put them in a Skinner box, and go to town. Like, yeah, absolutely. It worked on me. I got that beta. I remember that beta at E3, and I wasn't at E3 back then. That was before I was going to E3. and it was like, man, GameSpot's got 1,000 codes for Call of Duty Modern Warfare beta, and everyone's talking about it at E3. They're like, this is the game of the show. It's like the secret game of the show. I'm like, I want to check that out. I got an Xbox 360 now, so I got that and played that beta a ton, and you could only get to like level 16, but already it was like that grind was like, oh man, I can't wait to see what I'm going to unlock next. And the real secret of that was you were getting better at the game and you were learning the maps, and that's actually why you were getting better, but you thought you were getting better because you were unlocking stuff. And like, and any type of game like gets that like it makes you think you're getting better because they're giving you stuff. It's like, oh, okay, so then you're gonna keep doing stuff while you're unlocking things, and you're actually gonna get better, and that's why you keep playing. So it was like this really smart move. But yeah, Call of Duty 4, obviously, Call of Duty massive, and this is when it happened. That is when it happened. So
yep, it's a big deal. Oh, Jeff.
Yeah, there's an obvious one. I'm like waiting to see like when you're going to go to it, but if you're holding it back,
there's an obvious one for me.
Yes.
I don't know if that's what I'm doing right now, but boy,
Okay.
do I like Ridge Racer Type 4.
Yeah.
I love Ridge Racer Type 4. I'm always trying to get it on one of these. It's or get it in the Hall of Fame or whatever.
It's going to be a tough one.
It's a tough one, I know, because all I can really say is it's the best Ridge Racer, and I could say it's the best PlayStation 1 racing game, and people probably won't agree with that. I know a lot of people like Gran Turismo 2. But I know some people throw out Gran Turismo 4. I know people like that, but I have no strong feeling about that. But boy, I like Ridge Racer Type 4 so much. I don't know if it's going to make it, but I at least want it on there. I still just love the way this game looks. I love its weird campaign where you like pick a sponsor and there's like a story. It's almost like a romantic like visual novel where like the sponsor talks to you after each race based on your performance, and it's like disappointed or happy, and you get different cars depending on how well you do. The best soundtrack, maybe the best soundtrack ever. I love it. So I definitely want it at least considered. I want to see it on there.
JG from Face says types count.
Oh my god,
that's really good. That's very funny.
Incredible. Dr. Sausage said, "Chat, is Ridge Racer the most boomer series ever?" No, I bet that's Wing Commander.
Yeah, that's a very boomer series. Incredible.
I think it's even I am like, I don't play Wing Commander.
Yeah,
give me a break.
Christian just mentioned one I was going to bring up, Street Fighter 4.
Yeah, that's interesting because it was this big revival for that series and kind of for fighting games in general, especially 2D fighting games. Yeah, it's already in this weird spot where, I don't know, it's not like there's people who were like, oh, Street Fighter 4 was my favorite. I bet Christian and Sean are about to scream at me like, how are you not in the pulse of the deep, dark fighting game community, right? I don't know. But like in the broader context, people aren't still talking about Street Fighter 4 necessarily.
Yeah, I think I probably agree. I mean, I could put it up there for now. I also don't think it's gonna survive up there. I just think
as I predicted, both of them
as usual. Sean says,
yeah, of course. He was the one who just said that Mirror's Edge and Super Metroid aren't very good games, right?
Yes, the person whose opinions don't count. Yes, that's right. For me, everything Street Fighter just lives in such a shadow of Street Fighter 2 that it's like, well, yeah, but it's not Street Fighter 2.
Yeah, it's like not Street Fighter 2. I don't even think it's in like Street Fighter 3. I know wasn't very popular, but gosh, that's like the pinnacle of like quality to me.
I mean, 4 was definitely a huge revival for that series, but I think it's like for that series. Yeah.
Well, it was a huge revival for fighting games in general. I do have to say that. So that is important. It's worth considering. Well, I'm not throwing it off here.
I think it was a big revival for people coming back to play Street Fighter. I don't think it was like, and now we get a bunch of other games trying to be like Street Fighter.
No, again. I think you're wrong. I do actually think it was a turning point for fighting games in general. There just weren't a whole lot of those anymore.
Okay, not in the way that Street Fighter 2 did. Nothing close to that.
Well, Street Fighter 2 invented the genre practically.
Yeah, right. And then there was like 500 games like that, not just from Capcom, but from everybody, and it just wasn't that. Well, that's my comparison point. But yes,
okay, for sure. But Street Fighter 4 is important, and it was a revival for fighting games in general.
I think it was for that scene, definitely 100%, absolutely. Okay, the Elder Scrolls for Oblivion.
Yeah, it gets kind of overshadowed by Skyrim as a thing, even though some people say this, and I kind of agree that maybe Oblivion's better. Like I maybe agree.
I had a lot of fun with Oblivion. I like it a lot too.
I had a ton of fun with Oblivion.
And also, I mean, it definitely was that. I mean, that is when those games from that studio kind of became what they were. Was with Oblivion, because Fallout 3 came out after that, right? And Skyrim came out after that, and
yeah, Oblivion is great. I do like it a lot. You're not wrong.
I mean, I don't know. I love Oblivion. I kind of want to put it up there, but I'm just gonna write it up there for that.
Write it up there. It's worth considering. It is. It is. Because it had really interesting quest lines. It had this big open world, but it wasn't quite as like Morrowind. Morrowind is fun, but it still feels a bit obtusey. I don't even know if that's the word. It's still there's something still like a little too old school computer RPG about it that somehow feels impenetrable in some ways. And Oblivion's like, I'm gonna play this on my couch by 360, and it's gonna be great.
Exactly.
I want to bring up Persona 4.
Right.
And I think that's still the best one. And it's hard to say like, oh, this was like a turning point for the Persona series, because you could say that about 3, 4, and 5, because it's just been like, you know, this line that's just been going completely. It's not vertical, not horizontal. What's in between that? Diagonal.
Yeah,
diagonal land, right? But people saying golden or normal 4. You can say whatever you want. I'm guessing. Persona 4, though, I still think is my favorite. I know for me is when I really fell in love with that series. And I think it kind of set people up for 5. Now, maybe people are going to say it's not, 3 isn't as good, but it was kind of the first one of that style. And then 5 is even more of the major, like, breakthrough point, I guess. So, I'm not sure, but I think Persona 4 needs to be considered.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely one that I think people feel very strongly about. I've never played it, so I think you got to speak to it. But I would not be surprised if it makes the cut at all.
I love the suburban vibes of Persona 4, even though it's like Japanese suburban. It's still like that feels. It's more relatable to me than the big city-based Persona 3 or Persona 5.
Let's see. Super Castlevania 4.
Yeah, I like Castlevania 4. I don't know if it's the best thing you can say about it is that as an early Super Nintendo game, it was really cool. It did some neat stuff with Mode 7. You can actually move the whip around. It was also like slightly easier, which was neat. I don't know if I necessarily like it more than even Bloodlines on Genesis or even like Castlevania 1 on NES or Castlevania 3 on NES. It's a very good game. I don't know if that's enough.
Final Fantasy 4.
Yeah, so I famously say like Final Fantasy 4 doesn't do a whole lot for me, but I think it absolutely deserves consideration in this case. It was the first 16-bit Final Fantasy. It was the first one that kind of put more of an emphasis on story. The first one with the ATB battle system, which was a big deal at the time. So yeah, I think Final Fantasy 4 probably needs to be at least talked about. It kind of set up a lot of things for what that series would be moving out of that NES era. And, it actually did come out over here, unlike a lot of those early ones, too. It's Final Fantasy 2 here.
I got a couple more that I that feel like they need to at least be in consideration, but do you have anything?
There's some that I want to talk about, and I don't think they make it really. Yes. I'm seeing a lot of people saying Grand Theft Auto 4. To me, Grand Theft Auto 4 gets completely overshadowed by the PlayStation 2 trilogy and then Grand Theft Auto 5.
I agree with that. I know a lot of people really like Grand Theft Auto 4. To me, that feels like it's. I don't know. I think it's nostalgia, but because a lot of people played it at a very formative time. But maybe it's not. Maybe people have like real reasons why they like that best. But yeah, I think that it gets overshadowed in just about every way by a lot of other games from that series.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I guess this isn't really what I was talking about, but one that maybe I do actually really want to consider is then I immediately lost it, Jeff. You go next.
Yeah,
please.
So Civilization 4.
Baba Yetu. Baba Yetu, Yetu, Yepinguni, Yetu,
There are a lot of things like that in that game. So I played Civilization 3 first. That was like my first one. I really fell in love with that. I love Civilization 3. Civilization 4, Civ 4 is still the one that is my Civ game. It's got Baba Yetu. It's got Leonard Nimoy doing the tech, the tech quotes and stuff like that. Those ring in my head constantly. I'm constantly thinking about those. What the way he says those quotes.
Was that the last square one, right? I think it went to like hexagons or whatever.
Square tiles, yes. They went to hexagons after that with 5 and 6. Yes, I love hexagons, but that had square, and it was like sort of like very much looks like an old classic Civ game. And it was such an easy game to lose so much time to, and I think they really figured out what that series really was with 4. Obviously they made some big changes going forward, but oh man, Civilization 4 is a classic. Looking at this list, it's going to be very hard to get Civ up there, I think, though.
I kind of have to leave it to you because I didn't really play Civ 4. I actually got into the series with Civ Revolution on 360, and then I played Civ 5. Yeah, Civ Revolution was pretty sweet.
Look at Jeremiah Lamb in chat real quick.
See, I saw it. Smash 4 Wii, Smash Brothers for Wii U and 3DS. Yeah, probably not.
Yeah,
just gets overshadowed.
All right, I'm gonna go over the list real quick for audio listeners.
Okay, please do.
Resident Evil 4, Mega Man X4, Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare, Ridge Racer Type 4, Street Fighter 4, The Elder Scrolls 4, Oblivion, Persona 4, Final Fantasy 4. So as a reminder, Mount Rushmore is going to be 4, and they are the games that we feel are the most representative of this concept.
There's 2 I want to bring up. Oh gosh, Goldie, geez, I didn't even think about that. Hi, Rachel. I hope you just got here. Let's see. Contra 4. I've seen a few people say I like Contra 4. It was really neat. It's not the best Contra game.
No. Yeah, and many of these games that we have up on this list already are the best of their series or very important in their series. And Contra doesn't quite play there. Do you want to go to that one that Goldie said?
So Goldie brought up Uncharted 4, and man, I kind of forgot about that. Uncharted 4, boy, it is really good. I actually
really good.
Might still be the best looking game from that generation.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Just the problem is Uncharted 2. Maybe it's better, maybe it's not. Uncharted 2 certainly is more important than.
Yeah, it's kind of my feeling. It's like as much as I really enjoyed Uncharted 4 and didn't really enjoy any of the other Uncharted as I tried to play them, which wasn't very hard or not on their terms really, but I still think it's a game that is overshadowed within its own series pretty hard, and probably doesn't play on this list. It would feel out of place, I think, on this list.
Yeah, the other one that maybe I would consider is Streets of Rage 4.
I really like Streets of Rage 4. Yeah, I mean, it's very good at what it did in terms of making beat-ups fun in a time when we thought that wasn't possible anymore, and bringing back a really classic franchise in a way that felt like doing that in a really respectful and cool way while still being in that same style.
Why don't we see what our podcast producers were throwing up here? Maybe they can kind of zone in on some of these for us. I will say this, Jeff. I think Resident Evil 4 and Call of Duty 4 are locks, and I'm trying to figure out what the other 2 are.
Well, let's see. From chat, we have Colin saying, from our podcast producers, excuse me. Colin said GTA 4. Benji Glasky said Mega Man X4. Super Blast X offered Super Mario Brothers 4, Super Mario World. There, I did the joke early. Nobody else has to say it now, so I was going to say it. So even saved
that is actually
a
subtitle for it in Japan, which is interesting.
Yep. Let's see. Glogness said Metal Gear Solid 4, definitely one of, if not the best 4 I've played. Warden Cliff said Persona 4 Golden. I mean, listen, maybe they haven't played many other 4s. The Octopath Wolf 5 said Uncharted 4 did an amazing job of tying together everything up to this point of the series. Also, that got a lot of responses. 3 people gave that a 100 emoji here. So, I mean, maybe if you feel like we want to reconsider it, I guess we could.
Maybe.
Chuck Towski says Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. Cranches McBasketball dropped Resident Evil 4. Teach QC said Link's Awakening, which later we established had to have a 4 in it.
It should have 4. And if it doesn't, I better really think of it as a 4. Like Metroid Fusion is closer to being a 4 to me than Link's Awakening.
And Luna Land said Metroid Fusion. Cascoder said Crash Bandicoot 4. It's about time.
Crash Bandicoot 4 actually does rule. Kind of underrated. That's a very good game. The only thing like kind of against it is it seems like not as many people care about it as I do.
Yep. Let's see here. I'm gonna start like skimming through for ones that we haven't said before. Forza
Horizon 4.
Yeah, I like that, but I think that series is too it's another one of those.
The same each time, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I think the settings are very different and very cool in that way, but for the most part, it's like, well, yeah, that's the big thing that's different. Other than that, that's still another Forza Horizon. Shoji Koda said Battlefield 4.
Nah. I mean,
I don't think it goes on the same list with Call of Duty 4.
No, exactly. I think that's it's a good game, but that's kind of the problem with it.
Right. I mean, yes. And honestly, Battlefield 4, another one of those Battlefields that, like, man, people really liked that, but in the end, it had a lot of problems. It's so many internet issues with that game throughout the first year of its existence. I remember covering that constantly. Let's see, Wario Land 4 from Dan Park.
It's a good game. I think I like Wario Land 3 more, even. Maybe Wario Land 1 more.
Gigantes said this won't win, but Mario Party 4, the first entry on the GameCube. I love the story mode. What do you think, Mike?
I liked Mario Party 4 because didn't 5 and 6, or at least one of them, they were very heavily based around that weird microphone thing. So
Yeah,
4
one
was
of them definitely
the-
was. Yes.
Yeah, I think 4 is the one I liked on GameCube. I think 7 also came out on GameCube. There were a lot on GameCube for some reason. 4 is still the one I think about though, but still, it's Mario Party. It's just I don't know if it matters as much as some of these other franchises.
Bailey Moon says Doom 64, which is also the 4th entry in the series. Very good point. Like that.
So,
Yeah, go ahead.
someone said right above that you scroll past it, but someone else in chat said Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 4.
Yes.
Turtles in Time. That's kind of interesting. The problem is, I mean, when it was in the arcade, it wasn't called Turtles 4. They only called it that because they ported it over from the arcade.
Yeah. Let's see here. God of War 2018. Not quite. Lenny says, isn't Code Veronica technically the 4th Resident Evil game? It is, but yes, what's outside the rules?
4 in there though. That matters more.
Samurai Showdown 4.
I don't know about Showdown 4. I think I played Showdown 5 or 6 at Galloping Ghost, and I was a sexy archer lady, and I was having a lot of fun. And then I fought an even sexier lady who, like, for her finishing move, she created a screen. And she got naked behind the screen, and it was shockingly provocative.
Hang on real quick. I just got to do something. All right. Jat said Fallout 4, and look at all these reactions here.
Yeah, right.
This is wild. People are going crazy for this choice. Look on Pizza.
You of all people. You of all people are the big Fallout 4 defender.
It's a very fun game. It's good, actually.
It's fine.
Yes. Okay. Let's see. Jeremy G. Honorable mentions Assassin's Creed 4, Soul Calibur 4. A very good game. Absolutely.
Yeah, but Soul Calibur 1 and 2 better.
I mean,
Soul Calibur 4 is the one with the Star Wars characters, though, which is fun.
Street Fighter 4 is not going to make it. No other fighting game's probably going to make it. That's kind of just how it goes.
Yeah, Street Fighter 4 is the one that... I mean, I know people like Virtua Fighter 4, but Street Fighter 4 is probably the one most likely to make it.
How do you feel about Left 4 Dead?
Yeah, I thought about that, too. That's funny. Yeah. But you know me, I'm not even a big Left 4 Dead guy. Also, not really. Not really what we're talking about here.
Absolutely. Fusion also says Call of Duty 4. Nick Turbo said Persona 3, this actual 4th Persona game. Let's see.
That's because there's 2 Persona 2 games, Jeff.
Right. Okay. Of course. God, man. You don't think I don't know that? I'm not a fucking idiot. Okay. Well, no.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Let's see here. Anyone else gonna say anything? Fresh.
I saw some people bring up Dragon Quest 4, which is good. I think it was also a Famicom/NES game, and out of those, I still think Dragon Quest 3 is like the really cool, good, important one.
Bugadillo has some interesting ones here. Ace Combat 4, Rock Band 4, which I remember being people really liking that actually. Metal Slug 4, House of the Dead 4, and then both Bugadillo and Dr. Sess also say Streets of Rage 4. So last chance to consider Streets of Rage 4, Mike.
Maybe. I'm considering it, but it does feel like, again, we have those 2 really strong ones, and then it's like, all right, well, what the heck else gets on there? What are these other 2?
Okay, so yeah, let's start rearranging them. So it's going to be Resident Evil 4.
Resident Evil 4 and Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare 4, almost certainly.
Okay. For me, the other one that makes the most sense is the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, but that's definitely a me pick. It's a strong me pick. So if you have other thoughts, I'm willing to hear them. I think that leaves a spot open for a weird one. But maybe
I'll say this. I like Ridge Racer Type 4. I like Mega Man X4. They're not going to make it.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Persona 4 is probably the other one that has to make it, right?
You think? Gosh,
I don't know. You tell me. I think so.
I think so. It seems like it's the favorite amongst a lot of the Persona fans, which I think matters. It still feels like Persona 5 is maybe.
I mean, I'll say that I remember Persona 3 being a breakout hit for Persona, and then I remember Persona 4 coming out and being bigger, and the Persona 4 Golden coming out and being huge, and just being like everyone loves Persona now, and then that set up Persona 5 to be this massive success when it launched.
Yeah, that makes some sense. Can I really, even despite my Final Fantasy 4 issues, can I really say it's a bigger deal than Final Fantasy 4?
Yeah, I mean, because Final Fantasy 4 isn't 6 or 1.
It's not. Well, yeah, it's not. That's the problem. There's a lot of Final Fantasies that are better than 4. That is kind of my problem there. You're right. That is kind of the thing. And the Persona 4 Golden was so good too. Yeah. I feel like I'm closer to wanting to include Street Fighter 4 than you are, for sure.
Okay. Well, then, I mean, okay. I want to get Oblivion up there, but if you want to say Persona 4 and Street Fighter 4, I'm okay with that. Like, I'm trying to, yeah, I guess that would be fine. But I'm like, also, like, which one of these three do we leave off? Are we leaving Final Fantasy 4 off?
We're leaving Final Fantasy 4 off.
Okay, so it's between, so right now we got Resident Evil 4 up there, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare.
Look, you want to put Oblivion above Persona 4, maybe I'll allow that.
Yeah, maybe that, I kind of like the look of that too.
Then we have, Resident Evil 4, Call of Duty 4, Street Fighter 4, Elder Scrolls 4. We got a nice Japan West split right now. People are very tense about that, so that's playing it safe.
We're cooling tensions here.
Yeah,
on
exactly.
on the Game Mess Decides podcast.
Yeah, and I do like Oblivion a lot. I mean, Oblivion is like the first of basically the modern Bethesda games, right? Like,
yeah,
even Fallout 4 is still kind of just a lot of Oblivion stuff.
Yeah, I mean, Morrowind definitely had a lot of that stuff going on, but Oblivion's where it was like, you're right. I think the way you described it earlier was Morrowind still is a bit obtuse and feels a bit like a PC game, and was kind of this weird fit on Xbox and was very cool and ambitious for its time. Oblivion's where it like became a breakout hit, a big system seller. Yeah.
Yeah. There's also a part of me that wants to reconsider Uncharted 4, but against these four, I don't know. I don't know if it makes
okay. I mean, let's go ahead and make it. Let's see what the list looks like here with Resident Evil 4, Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare, Street Fighter 4, The Elder Scrolls 4, Oblivion. And then that leaves Persona 4 as our first one off the list. And then, I could type Uncharted 4 up there. I mean, I would even reconsider Civ 4. I mean, there's a lot of good 4 games.
Yeah, there's actually, I thought this would be kind of a joke, but there's actually a lot more.
Honestly, right now, this one feels like the hardest one to me that we've done in a while. Mm-hmm. If we cut it off at this list up here, I think that's good. I mean, honestly, we got the right one, Resident Evil 4. I think Call of Duty 4 is clearly the right number 2.
I've seen a bunch of people say Sims 4, by the way, and like I get it, but I just you can't get me too excited about the Sims.
I'm planning to dive headfirst into the Sims here pretty soon. Sims 4.
Bet you are.
Yeah, I want to ask people like, what is the girliest thing I could do in that game, and I'm going to do it earnestly because people are like, someone's like, oh, guys are afraid to see how they really play the Sims, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do it. I want to I just want to have a bunch of babies in that game. Let's do it. So
that's a new thing. Yeah, you can have a bunch of babies.
Yeah, you can do the 100 baby challenge. Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do the 100 baby challenge. So, Sims 4, yeah, it's definitely a massive thing. I still don't know if it quite ranks with these games, though, in my opinion.
I think I like it, Jeff.
Yeah, I think we're gonna cut off this list. So one last time: Persona 4, Uncharted 4, Civ 4. Not moving any of them up, right?
Right. Why don't I read some super chats actually? Because some of these were about the list.
Sure.
Yeah. Dominic Malta says, "Love you guys. I put my question in Discord. Also, Jeff, have you at least played Predator: Concrete Jungle yet? This is my third super chat about this."
I have not. I'm sorry. No. Yeah. I'll look into it. I will. Let me see if I can make some time for that.
If you put a question in Discord, I hope it was for Time Docs, because we don't do like those kind of questions on this show.
Yeah,
anymore, so I'm not sure what that would be.
Yeah, if you put it in Nintendogs, we'll answer it there. And honestly, we talked a little bit about your question earlier in the show, so so sorry about that.
Nick Turbo says, actually, Persona 3 is actually the fourth Persona. Oh, that's right, he already said that. Nick Nolan Davis said, evening beef and cheddar boys, do you think Tears of the Kingdom could launch with Master Mode or some difficulty equivalent? Was that DLC last time, Master Mode?
What game is this?
Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, that was in that first round of DLC, I think.
Yeah, so I think it would come with DLC.
Big Fresh 37. Look at this stupid super chat.
It's what?
For honor. That's a good one. I like that.
Good. Thank you, Big Fresh 37. Let's see here. Big Jimbo Ryan says, I'm pissed for a lot of reasons. Xbox Killer said to chill, but no, go meet me in Ohio. We're going to Mud Whistle. These two jokers in applesauce.
Listen, I'm not saying anything that's not true about PSVR 2. I'm sorry, Jim Ryan. Please don't. Number one Jim Ryan fan. It's up there somewhere.
I feel like Xbox Killer had that like slight burst of reactivity, and then, I think he got banned because he started getting weird. He started like calling us fat or something mean. It was weird.
I miss him still.
I still miss. I wish he would. I wish he wouldn't cross that line. But hey, sometimes some people accidentally cross lines despite their best intentions.
Despite their best efforts not to, and French toast beer might be involved, and
Biggity 08 says, "What about Super Mario World? It's not enough of a 4 for me. I want to see that 4 proud."
Yep.
And then Ariel Delgado says, "Put John Wick 4 there. Do we see a Sega remake at E3? Well, we definitely don't see it at E3. So there you go.
Yeah.
Question answered.
I'd love to see Skies of Arcadia there. That'd be cool. Or that week,
there.
Yeah, you get it.
There. All right, Jeff.
All right.
That's it for Super Chats.
Let's finalize it then. All right. This is the Mount Rushmore of 4s: Resident Evil 4, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, Street Fighter 4, and the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. I feel good about that list, Mike.
Yep, me too. I like it.
All right. I'm
sure people will yell at us anyways.
Gonna go ahead.
What do you think's the one they're going to yell at us the most for not including? Persona 4?
Yes.
I think so.
Yes, definitely. And Final Fantasy 4, probably.
And
yeah, but who cares? Those aren't real people.
They can eat dirt.
Yeah, exactly. All right, I'm gonna tweet this and let everybody know where to yell at us at. There we go. Okay, we're gonna take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Pee.
All right, Mike. I was gonna ask if you gotta go. All right, Mike's gonna go pee. Everybody, then we'll talk about what we've been playing, things like that. Definitely Resident Evil 4, obviously.
Listen, I'm not gonna say anything because Sean is gonna show up any second now. He's gonna yell at you.
Yeah, fair enough. Go ahead.
So no, I should say that
you really aren't gonna say
I'm not
anything.
gonna.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything. Maybe Sean, I don't know, fell asleep. You kill him with that Street Fighter 4 take, and he died after listening. It was too strong. That's an okay list, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, we put it on the list.
It's hard.
Chill out.
It's a hard list.
Yeah, it was actually tough. All right, let's see here. You forgot For Honor was the first person. So everyone's a jokester tonight.
Yeah, everybody. Yeah. Let's call it that. People do be clowning.
People do be clowning. There's a big Forspoken. That's good, Nick Turbo.
Yeah.
Is that a Kirby Kuado? Yes.
Back 4 Blood.
These Mount Rushmores honestly are like the things that get people to engage the most, because everyone has an opinion. We didn't even consider Halo 4.
Oh, Halo 4.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just pointing out the facts. We didn't even consider it.
It's not the best Halo.
We don't expect that much from this show. Okay.
Well, Shin is not joining, but yeah, you were totally wrong about Street Fighter 4. Street Fighter 4 is fucking beloved by everybody.
I never said it wasn't beloved by everybody. What did I even say? What did I say?
I don't even remember. You said something dumb, and I
said
tuned out.
It did not create a ton of like. Everyone needs to make a fighting game again, because it didn't. It just didn't. People made more fighting games. It was nothing like the fighting game deluge we got after Street Fighter 2. That's all I was saying.
Well, yeah, because that's when the genre was born.
Yeah,
of
right.
course,
Fair
it's
enough.
not like
But still, we're fighting.
Fighting?
Yeah,
I'm not fighting. I should say us.
He comes in like you said Street Fighter 4 was bad. I did not. I said no such thing.
You never said.
You said Street Fighter 4 was bad, and then you gave Returnal a 90 out of.
Yes, that's that. It's no Returnal is what I said about Street Fighter 4. Okay. Let's see here.
All right, let's get going.
Yeah, I think we're ready. Okay, I'm gonna bring us back in. All right, Mike, we're back up. Were there any other super chats that weren't related to the topic?
No, I read everything we had related or otherwise, so we're good right now. If you want to squeeze us in, we will still read them, everybody. We're getting close to the end, though, so hurry up!
Okay, so, Mike, I've been playing a video game this week. It's called Resident Evil 4. It's very, very, very good. It's really good. It
rules.
How are you finding Resident Evil 4 so far?
Loving it. Loving it. It is super fun.
We didn't even consider Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4. I really like that game.
Someone read it, but it's not Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 or
Yeah,
even
you're right.
Thug, to be
I mean,
honest.
it's very good though.
It's very good.
Yeah.
Of course it is.
Yep.
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater in its prime, but yeah. Yeah, man, this game is just great. It just feels so good. I don't know why shooting people in this game feels so much better. Just a little way to kind of like weave and move. It just makes right. And there's like a bunch of them, and they're coming slowly. It gives you just enough time to like actually think about it, but also you have to be careful. You have to move fast. I got to this one part two in this lake where it sort of opened up for just this little bit, and there's kind of all these different areas you can go to, and I could really look around for treasures or stuff like that. And I was really able to get some nice upgrades on my weapons. That felt amazing. It looks so good. I have no complaints yet, Jeff. No complaints.
It really is all of the little stuff. I mean, obviously it does all the big stuff great. It looks great. The characters are fun. The one-liners from Leon are really fun. The action is great. All that stuff, great. It is the little stuff for me. It is those treasures you collect, and the fact that it's like, well, I got a treasure, but it's got 4 slots on it. And if I'm just going to wait, I'm going to get even more money because I'm going to put all those jewels in those slots, and it feels so good. Why doesn't every game just steal that and do that? It's crazy. And then upgrading every single one of your weapons, just a little bit, one at a time. Of course, a lot of games do that, but this game does it better than most games today do it. It's so much fun. They nail this stuff, and like the inventory management. I like the auto sort. I don't care who knows it. I'm short on time these days. I'll use it, but like sometimes I'm like, no, I'm gonna move this stuff around. Obviously, I could do better than this auto sort right now. It does everything just right, and it continues to be this guidepost. It's like most games should be a lot more like Resident Evil 4 because it's not just it's just a dumb horror game, and people like horror games, so they're giving a pass. Like, no, it does so much better than almost any other game. And I'm starting to feel like maybe it didn't get the accolades it deserved because people did not copy enough of this stuff, in my opinion. It's so well done.
Yeah, I just am excited to play a lot more of it. Again, Leon's super likable. I just got to the point where I rescued Ashley, and now she's with me, and like, that's all a lot of fun. Even like getting your sniper rifle, and gosh, that thing feels good to use. The first time the tentacle monsters come out. The boss fights, have been really cool so far. It's been boss fights from the original, and just seeing them reimagined here, gosh, they're fantastic. Yeah, this probably is the best. Gosh, that Final Fantasy 2, that Resident Evil 2 remake is amazing. This might be even better.
Yeah,
it's insane how good Capcom is right now.
Yep, they continue to just be dominating. I really like, this is not a spoiler, it's more a tip, but if like you shoot the lake, you get that special treasure if you shoot it enough. People should definitely do that if you're out there playing that game.
You saw that thing with the clock tower in the beginning, right?
Yes, that is incredible.
You did shoot it. Oh,
yeah.
God,
so in the game, for that opening sequence when you're in the village and that guy with the chainsaws chasing you around, basically what you're supposed to do is run around, try to survive until a bell goes off on a tower telling everybody, hey, come to dinner or whatever it is. And then they stop attacking you and they walk away. But if you are running around and you're in the right spot and you have like a gun that can sort of reach you can hit it with any gun, but it's easier to do with a rifle. If during that sequence, if you look up and you shoot the bell with a rifle, it'll cause the bell to ding, causing the sequence to end right away. That is because they'll all be like, oh, the bell's going off. That attention to detail is insane. I'm blown away by that.
And yeah, I'm just excited to see like how deeper it goes. Because again, like I know I'm really still in the first third of this game. And I haven't even seen anything that's too different from the original yet, at least in terms of what I remember from story beats and set pieces. So I'm excited to see how kind of more crazy it gets.
Yep. I kind of can't wait for Resident Evil 9 because I think after a Resident Evil 4, they kind of need to be like, okay, we're in a post Resident Evil 4 remake world. We need to make sure that Resident Evil 9 is sort of living up to that legacy even. And I think they'll probably do a sort of follow up to everything they've done right now that sort of culminates what they've done with 7 and Village and 2 remake and 4 remake. And I hope they kind of all bring that all together in like the Uber Resident Evil game for the next big sequel.
I like Resident Evil Village, but I kind of do want Resident Evil 9 to be third person. Let me play as like one of those iconic characters again. Give me a Leon or a Claire or a Chris or a Jill, and do something like that again. I don't, I
enjoyed Village of what I played of it fine, but like playing 4 now, it's clear Village isn't a 4. It is not, and it's a very fun game. It's got a lot going for it, but it's not just that like so playable, so well paced that you just can't ever put it down game that 4 is. But I mean, not most games aren't 4, so that's fair.
Of course.
And really, it's like, a lot of this DNA does go back to that original game, and it's kind of amazing they nailed this so well all the way back then, and they can kind of just build on that. Of course, they made some major changes, but for the most part, it's like, this is just that game again, and that's really cool.
Yep, exactly. God, yeah, I'm very excited to play more of it.
Yeah, me too. It also runs really great on Steam Deck, everybody. I've been playing it on there.
That's nuts.
It pretty much gets 60 frames per second if you want to play it that way. I play it at 40 frames per second to try to save some battery. And it just is locked at 40 frames per second. It looks super smooth. It is nuts. You're right. It's kind of amazing how well it runs. But it does. And I play it that way. And it looks a little bit soft with the FSR2. It's kind of like run it at a lower resolution and then upres it, upscale it on the back end. But it's sharp enough for a portable game, and then it just plays great. And it's how I've played it in its entirety so far. So yeah, that's a really cool thing. It's way better than The Last of Us Part 1, apparently, in terms of running on a Steam Deck. Okay, yeah. Let's see. All right, anything else you've been playing, Mike?
No, I'm pretty close to beating Minish Cap, actually. I think I'm at the last boss, so I gotta get back to that. Maybe even after this, go beat that boss real quick. So that'll be fun. But, I played a lot of Diablo 4 over the weekend again with that beta. I was still really enjoying that. Got to play the Druid. It was a lot of fun. But gosh, I'm just basically looking forward, man. I'm so excited to play more Resident Evil 4 and then jump into. But maybe I'll have some time to finally play that Dead Space remake, and then after that, Jedi Survivor, and then Zelda, and then June with all of its crazy stuff going on.
I want to play more Minish Cap. I'm going to play more Minish Cap probably tomorrow night. That's I want to get as much done of it as I can before that Tuesday conversation for Game Mess Game Club. But even if I don't beat it,
Game Club,
yeah, even if I don't beat it by then, I'm still going to. Honestly, I'm going to be traveling for that night. Now that I think about it, so I might not be able to show up for that.
What am I talking about?
So
you can do your written thing.
I might dial in for Discord. I might just on my phone or something like that because I'll probably be there by then. But yeah, I won't be able to get on my computer and partake in the full way. But yeah, I'm still looking forward to playing a lot of that game. I plan to beat it. I'm enjoying it. But really, the other game this week for me was Mike Tyson's Punch-Out!, Mike.
Hey!
Which I have played from beginning to end without getting, basically without losing a fight. I went 14-0, which qualifies as a speed run for the single segment category. And so I was able to submit my time. I did it in 38 minutes, which was good enough for number 73 in the world. I am up on speedrun.com. My name is on there. It was officially accepted and approved. That was
players in the world.
Yes, that was really incredible. It was really cool going through that process, getting better, learning a lot of the tricks. And then now they're second nature. They just happen. I don't think about them anymore. They just happen.
Practice works.
Yes, it really works. And it's like for a long time, it's like, oh yeah, practice is working, but I still have to really kind of think about it. And I got to keep practicing or else I'm going to forget. And now it's like, I can go a full week and I come back and it all just happens. And that is really neat. That game, I've been thinking about it a lot since setting that time. It is kind of a perfect game. The way it works with the fighting engine, where it's just like things kind of, they happen on this timer, but not really. And they happen on these patterns, but they're not really that set. And so things can change, and you really have to adjust and move around when things go wrong, especially in a speed run when you want things to happen on a certain timer, but you could mess up one thing and then it all goes bad, and then you just got to move. And in that moment, it's like, man, okay, I'm using all the things I've learned to exploit this game, and then all the things I've learned to just play the game. And when they come together, which is what happened in that Tyson fight, where I got it into the third round, and
I was so nervous because you made that mistake in round 1. I was like, oh no, it's not happening.
Yep.
Round 3, normally you should get a TKO on him in round 2.
Unless you're a really good player who could get him a TKO in round 1, which is very, very, very hard to do. Dan practiced for months.
Destroyed his hand.
And destroyed his hands. He can't play the game anymore right now. He's been sidelined for weeks now because he literally is in pain if he tries to do that. So the idea is to get Mike Tyson down to as little health without knocking him down in the first round. So you start round 2, and then you can hit him a couple times, and he'll go down within the first 10 seconds. and then you want to get, then basically you got to hit every punch throughout round 2. And ideally you can get lucky and he'll do his blinking thing in round 2 where he looks at you and just blinks and you can punch him. A lot of times you'll get a star, but if you wait just long enough, you'll get no matter how much health he has, you'll just knock him down. So you're trying to like put all these pieces together. And in round 1, I knocked him down. And so he got a bunch of health back. And so he started round 2 with more than half his health. And so I was kind of in a rough spot, but I had a pretty decent round 2, all, even with all that considered. And it was enough to like get pretty close to still getting a TKO in round 2. And that was really pretty cool. But I'm like, okay, well, we still got round 3, and round 3 is way more unpredictable in terms of what Tyson's going to do. He does these out of nowhere jabs right to the face, and every single one of those hit me. And I was like, that was really bad. And he,
1-2.
Yep, just 1-2 right there. And it's like, man, it does a ton of damage. But what happened was, it's like, I got him really close. I got him down twice. I had enough points that if it went to decision, I was going to win. So I'm like, I just got to survive. And then he just keeps attacking, and I have like 30 or 40 seconds left. And I am trying to, I'm trying to survive, but I'm also trying to keep doing damage because like that's the best way to survive. So like keep playing the game so you can stay in the flow of everything. And he hits me, and then I hit him back a couple times. He's got a sliver of health left. I'm like, I could probably get him down right now, and I just throw a punch. He blocks it. I go pink, and it's like, this is it. I have to dodge now. I can't do anything else. He's gonna hit me once. I'm gonna go down, and this one I won't be able to get back up from. And I was able to like move, get my stamina back, punch him once, knock him down, and it was incredible. It was a really awesome moment. All that stuff is on Giant Bomb, so that sounds exciting. You should definitely watch it because I can't really do it justice. But it was a fantastic.
And it's the
feeling.
First run too, so you can just kind of watch it all as one thing.
Exactly. Yes, it was just that entire episode was just that run.
Yeah,
so
because you could definitely do a faster time for sure. All these small areas you can improve on. In the Tyson fight, if you get around 2, that's a lot of time saved. So,
exactly. Yeah. So I'm gonna do some of that on my own streams going forward. Looking forward to it. We're gonna replace that with 4 Swords of Interest though. That time slot on Giant Bombs. So I'm looking forward to that. You want to come play some of that with us, Mike?
Yes. In fact, I thought of the tagline for you.
Okay. Yeah. What is it?
There's no I in The Legend of Zelda 4 Swords Adventure.
I love it. Perfect. But yeah, for me, that's
True, by the way.
That is. You're definitely right. That was my week though. Is Resident Evil 4, Mike Tyson's Punch Out. I'm gonna get back to Engage. Still, I'm still enjoying that game, but I haven't played it in some time. I'm gonna beat Resident Evil 4 first. Is what I've decided.
Yeah.
But yeah, then I'll get back to it. But yeah, that's me, Mike. Anything else from you?
No, I think that's it.
All right, great. All right, we're gonna wrap this show up. I'm gonna hit the button. Let's go ahead and get out of here. Mike, what do you got going on? Where can people find you? All that good stuff.
Well, if you're watching live right now, I'm going to be going on my Twitch immediately after this to beat Manish Cap. Go to twitch.tv/Tolkoto. But then, aside from that, I don't know. I'm going to be watching WrestleMania this weekend. That should be fun. Then, yeah, I guess I'm going without you on the shows next week because you're going to be traveling. But
yeah,
don't worry,
so I'm going to be out next week, everybody. So Last of the Nintendogs Game Mess Decides will go on without me. Mike will get someone else in here, but I'll be able to help make sure that all gets set up and all that stuff. But yeah, definitely tune in, though. I'll be tuning in when I get a chance with all the travel and stuff. So, yeah. I'm twitch.tv/Jeff Grubb. I'll be streaming some this weekend, probably Friday night, probably tomorrow night. And then I got a busy weekend to get ready for a bunch of stuff. But then twitter.com/Jeff Grubb. I got, what is that? Spoutable? I'm Grubb on Spoutable. It's my new.
Yeah, you're
What?
spouting.
I'm spouting. Everybody, look out. Jeff
I haven't heard
spouting.
anyone else say anything about this, but Jeff, we'll see.
I mean, whatever. I'm not evangelizing. I'm just saying I'm spouting now. Everyone stand back.
Whatever. It's cool, but I'm spouting.
Yeah, listen, now I don't want to make a big deal to everybody, but I'm spouting. Okay. Anything else? I don't know. Mike, what are you going to do this weekend?
Watch WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And repent. Feel really bad about slurring my words.
I'm cutting that out of
Sit
the
in a
podcast
corner.
version, I've decided, so they won't know what you're talking about.
Well, I would hope so. I hope we can take it off of this version.
Yeah, we might be
honest.
able to do something. I don't know. We'll see.
I hope so. I'll see. Yeah.
We'll
Sorry,
see. Oh, you guys can't hear the
everybody.
music. Oh, boy. There it is. There
Good
it
job,
is.
you
All
did it.
right.
First try.
First try. This is an easy show. We've done this podcast.
It was going so well.
Yeah, having a flawless episode. No reason to edit. None at all.
They're Italian. They're Italians.
That's my excuse. I'm Italian.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, you're not white. Yeah, that wouldn't have helped in that situation, huh?
That would not help.
That
no.
doesn't help, huh? No.
No, it does not help at all. Is this
All right.
music gonna get louder and play us off yet?
Here it is. We're getting out of here, everybody. Bye.
All right,
Till next
thanks.
time.
Bye.
Normal man.
D3 is dead. D3 is dead. Master Chief comes.
It's a classic.